All right, everybody. It was funny because I immediately got told that we were going to be late tonight, and I said, "Yeah, probably." So, Marcus, how you doing, brother? That money seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Yay! Come on now, fresh off the jet, sharper than Gillette, the best you can freaking get. It is me, Mr. XB. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm feeling good today. The money getting long, baby. Money getting long out here. We out here, we finessing and jugging. We getting money. What's going on, Trey? What's going on, Brian McClay? What's going on, Vinny? What's going on, Big Leg? We at what fur bird? Fur ain't here. It don't matter. Fur bird is sick. He got bird flu. He out of there. Listen, we in here, baby. What we doing? We out here getting to it. Shit.
We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight, you guys. We got a lot of news and information and news and notes. We got some NFT news. A kid called Beast is blowing up, you guys. And you guys remember, we talked about it a long time ago. That was one of the things that we kind of keyed in on. And even it's too expensive for us at this point. Like it's crazy. So that being said, we'll talk about that. We got more NFT news. We've got a couple interesting video game variants for Sonic the Hedgehog that we're going to key in on also. And we got the market report, some interesting comic news to start it off. I see everybody in the chat. What up, everybody? 28 live right now. So everybody in the chat, I see that is signing up for the membership. We've got some information to pass along to you guys. The live membership tier is available. And for those of you guys that want to get in on it, I see a couple of you guys got on it. I appreciate you guys. That won't take effect for a couple of weeks now. So don't worry, everybody that buys it, that hasn't bought in on that, you can still catch the live shows for a couple weeks. I'm going to let a couple people know about it and stuff like that. But at some point, we are going to switch over to where on this channel, any of the live stuff will be through the first tier membership. Don't worry, if you guys want to check this show out for free, there's still going to be a free option. We are going to be creating a Rumble page for On the Radar. If you guys haven't checked out Rumble, check it out. The thing I like about Rumble is the nanny state hasn't taken over there yet, which is nice. And you can kind of say what you want, talk about what you want, and that type of fun stuff. But as for the case on YouTube right now, YouTube has made some changes recently. And basically, the live stream to members for the 99 cents is just a way to stay away from the boogeyman here on YouTube, which is terms of service. And it's getting harder and harder. That doesn't mean that all this content will only be available for people who pay 99 cents. I'll be clipping the segments and putting them out for free, just with edited terms of services. For those of you guys that, enjoy hanging out with us live on Saturday nights and on Wednesday nights here on this channel, 99 cents a month is what it's going to be for that first tier. But don't worry. Make sure you guys keep an eye on Rumble. We'll let you know as soon as the Rumble page is up. We have to get 100 subs over there to start streaming live over there. So that's going to be the case. Make sure you guys keep an eye on it. And I appreciate everybody in the chat that has jumped on the membership right now. It means a lot, and appreciate you guys. You guys already know that. So we'll see how all that plays out in the future. And I saw Solo Wookie made the bet, the over-under on Echoes tonight. I want to know what people's over-under on Echoes tonight thought process is, because I don't think we've had an Echo yet, but you guys let me know if it happens. So appreciate everybody. All right, we've got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Let's get into some of the new stuff. We've been talking about the X-Men run recently. I know Trey really kind of keyed in on a lot of that stuff early on, and the new Hickman stuff that was going on recently, and there was a lot of real cool stuff. I think hearing him talk about the whole Magneto thing and everything that was going on, and just really hyped people up for what was could happen in X-Men, but it kind of felt like it landed with a thud. Am I right about that, Trey? Do you feel that way? It kind of landed with a thud?
That is more than accurate.
Yeah. But they're coming back with a Sins of Sinister storyline. We've kind of talked about that already. And a big deal happened today And the new X-Men, there was new releases, of course, Wednesday night new releases, and this is a big deal for X-Men fans. A sinister secret for Professor X revealed in Immortal X-Men 10. What is that, Trey? What is the sinister secret that we're all worried or excited about at this point?
In the obviously right now, the Sins of Sinister are kind of in the infancy of all the X books. It's also kind of a weird time because Dark Web's going on, and there's tie-ins to both going on in the 4 to 5 different X books. But in one of the Sins of Sinister, one of the conflicts is for a while there have been thoughts that there have been 4 Mr. Sinisters in plain sights in the Marvel universe. And today they got the absolute fucking biggest reveal of them all. If you've been paying attention to X-Men like I have since Hickman took over with the dawn of the X and all that started, Professor X has had his helmet on the whole time. Well, today, at the end of Immortal 10, he took his helmet off to reveal that it's been not only the 4th Sinister has been pulling the strings behind this whole thing with Moira, based on what it looks like. Now that's could be a red herring. There is some talk that it could still be Mother Righteous as the 4th one because there's already been 3 reveals, but all this kind of stemmed from the shitty Judgment Day that we were just talking about. The Sinister that's been in the main continuity was not judged. And no one could figure out why he wasn't judged. And the main rationale is that he's not the real Mr. Sinister. And that's how it's kind of spiraled and went off into they found out that there's 4 Sinisters hiding in plain sight. So who the hell knows what's about to happen? And the other cool thing, and the X-Men, the Dark Web X-Men 3 book today, a giant piece of X-Men history happened. Some people are familiar with Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. Well, she is the half of the major villain in this Dark Web event where Ben Reilly, Peter Parker's old clone, kind of goes on a rampage. And at the same point in time, he went to go get the only other clone that he knew of that had some issues with Madeline. Well, Madeline, she had a pretty shitty time in the comic books if you think about it. She was created by Sinister, basically tricked into being Jean Grey, got knocked up by fucking Scott, and she had the baby, and then she had to give the baby up to Jean and let Jean raise the kid, and they only got to raise Cable for a few years, and then they moved him off to the future, and then the villains that created Madeline discarded her, and the X-Men wanted nothing to do with her because she was fucking Jean's clone. And that's kind of where it goes into the story. Well, in the last couple issues, Madeline made her attack on Magic and Jean. Can somebody hear that? Sorry.
No. Sorry. Was it me? Was it something?
I don't know.
Sound like a buzz?
It's good now.
Okay.
But where was I at? She was basically talking about the Jean and her started fighting in Limbo. And it was a really cool deal today. During the middle of the fight, Jean just gave up and was like, Madeline, I want to give you what you want. And Madeline couldn't believe it. So Jean gave Madeline all of her memories from raising Cable and even some new memories of some of the stuff he did back in All New X-Men and etc. And it totally changed Madeline. Now Madeline is now a good guy. So there's a bunch of shit happening in X-Men today that's actually pretty big in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually pretty stoked for where it's going. It's very interesting where they could be heading. I know I'm stoked for Sins of Sinister. I'm stoked for what they could bring. I think Sinister is a great bad guy. He's always been a good bad guy, and it kind of feels like almost. I know a lot of people say it's Marvel's version of the Joker, but I feel like he's so much more than that. He's kind of like one of those guys like Jamie Lannister where you don't know if he's good or bad, but you want him to be good. I always wanted Sinister to be a good dude.
Yeah, he's not good. That's what's cool is he pretended to be good just long enough to spring his trap. they let him on the quiet council. But then, like I said, finding out now that Professor X was part of the game the whole time, it actually changes so much. And I go back to think about stuff. It's been good. I tell people that the X-Men run up to the right now, the regular X-Men book is amazing. Immortal's really, really good. And my favorite book is X-Men Red. So
yeah, X-Men Red's been good for a while.
And then Sinister, I mean, he's always had somebody to do his dirty work, right?
Yep.
and here's
always
the thing about
the evil genius that they wanted to replace, trying to do the same villains that they had for so many years in X-Men. That was their whole, the end of the run when they try to do something new, when they try to bring out, so they created Mr. Sinister. So, he's got a future. So Sinister's always been a good buy-in, I think, also on, I don't care about the cameos, but like on 221. So,
yeah. First cover is also a cool book. It's very underrated.
It is. The thing about Sinister is it's going to be. He hasn't been done yet. That's one of the villains that they didn't. John Hamm was kind of talked about going to play him in one of those rumored movies, but I don't know I don't know exactly who Marvel's going to do whenever the X-Men does come along. I think you got to do a long play villain, almost like Thanos. Apocalypse makes the most sense, but we just had a really shitty Apocalypse movie. We're obviously going to have some sort of Magneto, but I don't think that they're going to go down the route of normal and have the whole X-Men versus Magneto thing. I could be way off on that. I don't know. But
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Another big book that came out this week. We've talked about it for a couple weeks now. I think it was on FOC a couple weeks ago where we noticed it. Talked with Josh, International Comics, about this book because he does have a weird little tie to this guy. But it's the fourth book in the run of musicians being put on a variant. The World's Finest, Batman and Superman World's Finest number 11 just came out today with a variant cover of Jack White, which is very interesting. If you guys don't know Jack White of the White Stripes, big comic fan, actually purchased 2 big foreign books in the Foreign Heritage Sale recently from our friend International Comics. And seems like one of us. And here he is on a book, on a cover. And I think that he designed this cover, if I'm not mistaken, because it does say the Jack White cardstock variant. I would expect somebody else's name to be on there. But this book is absolutely flying. Like sales prices that are crazy. Again, it came out today. And here you guys go. Here's some prices on these things, which is absolutely bonkers. 50, 102, 75, 36, 59, 50, 50, 50, 60. I mean, I don't think I've seen, and this was just a regular, this wasn't a ratio variant or anything.
Oh.
So
could have got it on Drew's Whatnot last night. He reloaded like multiple times at $15 a pop. Just giving our buddy a shout out. Who always gives good deals.
Oh, shout out to our boy Drew.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
So
Drew's
literally
coming
that
up
was
later.
happening last night. You guys want to check out One in Comics because he'll give you a deal because he bought a lot of them because he's smart. And now he's cha-chinging all the way off eBay. So don't blame him on that one.
Yep.
I mean, it's just even talking to him, man. It's just FOMO. There's a lot out here. You know what I mean? I know it's a crossover. We've always talked about the crossovers, whatever it's going to be. Star Wars music, the Eminem book for FC, come on, man. Let's go. But, it is what it is. Will it hold forever? No. But if you're a Jack White fan and like a whatever comic fan, and you spend $50 or $75, hey, it makes you happy, then you're happy. Like, is this going to hold at $100? No. I don't think it's going to hold at 50 either. I don't think it's going to hold at 20. I've been wrong before though. But
congrats to everybody making a couple extra bucks this week.
Yeah, man. I thought, hey, I wrote that don't be a $10 comic cop, man. Let people spend their money if they want to spend it.
And people make money, right? Shout out to Funhouse Comics saying my punishment for being late, $9.99 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. No worries.
Oh, we don't tell them how late we were.
Yeah, dude, these prices are bonk, and it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
And these are, I mean, you can see these are pre-prices that some pre-sales that started off low until people kind of figured out what it was, and now we're multiple.
Cover for a regular book isn't low though. You know?
I think it makes sense as a $20 book. Like that's the right price for that book, in my opinion. And what's cool about it is it's a reward for the people who are smart enough to do the FOC. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking great. It's an interesting cover. I'll give it that. But here's the other thing about people aren't. I don't know if people aren't reading World's Finest. There is a bunch of weird connective tissue being done inside that book. They've had some weird amalgams with Batman and Superman. The Reza, Devil Reza's been in there. There's been some interesting stuff going on in there. So there could be a first appearance. There could be something interesting going on inside this book. But don't pay $100 for this book because it's a $20 book.
Yeah,
I do like the cover. I like
great.
that. I like that, but I really think it's a good cover.
Yeah.
It has that.
Sides.
What's that fucking bunny movie? Donnie
Darko.
Does it not have like a Donnie Darko vibe to it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the Gibbs from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
I guess
I like anything with stars like that too. I think that's dope. That old school space stuff.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, honestly, I can't think of it. I can't compare this to another cover.
Does it glow in the dark?
That would be smart. You're gonna get a glow in dark second print variant coming. I bet you now.
Oh, God.
Or somebody's gonna
second print glow in the dark.
They're fucking
and a holofoil.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're gonna rip our numbers off, then we're gonna number them.
Cosmic One says Flashpoint Beyond 5 is a cameo for the Joker using the name Jack White. Interesting. There you go. So, just like they have that Eminem book with Mystique on the cover that also's got Feige in it. They got Eminem in the insides. That book was kind of popping for a while. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this book. Another great book that popped this week. Shout out to Simple Man's Comics. We talked about this amazing cover last night. Just absolutely amazing in my opinion. Nightwing number 100, and this is a acetate variant. Now, I would love for people in the chat to let me know how this looks, because I said when the C2E2 acetate thing happened, I said, man, what a colossal fuck up, because acetate covers are cool and they could have really ran with this and, brought the acetate cover style back. I always loved how acetate covers looked. I loved that Wonder Woman variant acetate they did a couple of years ago. That was an homage to the old school Wonder Woman cover. Like, they can do some cool stuff with acetate. And supposedly this is an acetate variant for Nightwing number 100. Beautiful design on this, in my opinion. Have you guys seen this at all? Have any guys seen this?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know, like, if when you open
I know what it is, but I haven't held one in my hand like you're talking about to see.
Yeah.
What
is the acetate just the white, or the acetate just the blue, or that type of thing. So, it's a great cover. But there's also some very cool covers for this one. But there's some really cool stuff that have happened in the guts also. We're going to get to that in a second. But this is a very interesting one to me right here. This is the George Perez design variant. And if you guys recognize this,
Titans 44.
This is the preview that DC put out in a ton of different magazines and fanzines and previews, saying that this is what Dick was going to turn into, this new character. Without, I think most of them didn't even have the Nightwing next to it, and a lot of people collect those. I think they're pretty cool. There's a Comic News Weekly one, I think, that's pretty cool. But now they're putting it on a variant, and it's very interesting. I don't like the colored version of it. I think it looks bad. I don't know what it is, but
does anyone honestly? There's a reason that everyone made fun of fucking Nightwing until the New 52, and they changed his costume and they got rid of his little fucking collar and all this shit going on, his little feathers hanging down. Have you noticed that? You remember when New 52 came out and Nightwing 2 and 3 and 4 were going for like $60, $70? Nightwing's been a cool character since they changed his costume. And it 100% makes sense. I ain't fucking buying that. You can't tell your buddies buying Nightwing shit.
But I don't think it was New 52. I think it was the Nightwing, the first Nightwing solo series that DC put out that has the DC Universe variant.
You know, with this outfit, it looked like Nightwing want to go hang out with Boy George at the Karma Chameleon. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That is
I might wear that one if it's a little looser. Oh.
Nah. If you remember, you're right. In the DC you're talking about, if you remember, he still had. I gotta pull that costume. The one that has him in the background. See, he still had some. That's a good costume.
It is. That's a
good
cover.
Costume.
Yeah.
That is a good costume. See, I got no issues with that. And he became a lot cooler.
I agree.
There's no reason. It's like, I don't want to hang out with a dude that has a deep V, like V-neck shirt, like down to here and shit. No one wants to hang out with Nightwing.
Show it,
with that
Trey.
type.
Show it again.
I don't need to show it. That's what I mean.
Brother.
Yeah.
There's it now. I like George Perez and all this other shit, but this is a trash ass variant.
Yeah, but now they're gonna make Superman and Wonder Woman say he's gonna take over the world and call themselves the Titans, and like that's just passing the torch. Like that's putting him over. They couldn't get one.
It's Tom Taylor. That's what I mean.
Like 100, dude. They couldn't get one decent fucking cover.
I've gone back and forth.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
That's a great cover.
Hey, Nightwing's
not great. I ain't mad at him, but that's not a great cover.
Listen,
bro, why does he have shooting glasses? Why does he have fucking turquoise?
I'm on a podcast instead of doing that, but like,
let's back up. Nightwing like him thick. He like big butts, and he ain't gonna lie.
Starfire and Oracle redheads, both of them are. I guess.
Look at that. That boy holding that leg in the air.
Nightwing is an equal pussy opportunist. He don't care what color it is or nothing. He likes all races, everything.
I love that.
You know, I do too, but like the glasses, why does he looks like, what's that shitty Saturday Night Live character? Bill, what's his name? He looks like
Hader?
Bill Hader with dark glasses from the side, and when somebody said that, I couldn't stop seeing it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Nightwing got draws on with this, because he has her in a very compromised position with the.
It's all dark. It's all dark.
It's all dark down there. Yeah, it's just like, you know.
I think that's one of the reasons that Nightwing got above all the crazy shitty costumes back in the day, was because he was such a hound, and he hooked up with some of the bangingest broads in DC, right? Like Starfire.
He was a coos hound, wasn't he?
Yeah, dude, he was, man, and we loved him for it. And like, you even remember that one Nightwing cover, I think Nightwing cover, where he's got Barbara Gordon, and she's still paraplegic or whatever, or not paraplegic. She can't use her legs.
Wait a minute.
They're swinging, and he's got her. Like, that was such a big cover.
It still is.
It's
So wait a minute. Did Nightwing break down a paraplegic?
Oh yeah, bro.
He was doing it before the accident. He did. Yeah. He was fucking her before the Joker shot her.
Yep.
Wow.
And after, he didn't give a shit. He's like, you know what? I loved her before.
Amen.
So Nightwing out there getting paralyzed. Poo nanny. Wow.
Amen.
Man, I've gone so back and forth on this book.
Like Freddie got fingered, just beating her right in the leg.
That's, by the way, one of the most underrated movies. The Daddy, Do You Want Some Sausage is one of the most underrated scenes in the history of cinema. Hey, it's the only time I was with a group of people that walked out, and I was crying so hard that my stomach hurt. I don't know if you guys remember at the very end of the movie, he's holding up that sign. He's like, "This is the worst movie ever," and shit like that. And I'm underrated.
Well, this is the cool thing about the guts of this book. Really cool moment in Nightwing today. Trey, you want to get into it?
I did, but then I just thought about it, and I'm not going to give Tom Taylor any fucking. I mean, it's fuck Tom Taylor.
It's a cool moment, bro.
It is, but it's Tom Taylor doing it, so it doesn't. Minute.
What happened right here? Where he said, "I love you, Dad."
Yes,
this is the same guy who. This is the same guy who literally fucking aged up a 9-year-old so he could be in a gay fucking love affair. I'm not talking shit. That's just exactly what happened. If anybody'd like to check the facts on that, you can go back and do it. They aged John Kent up so they could put him in a
Sex him with Tim
LGBTQ
Drake.
relationship. So this is a guy who did it, and he's very proud of it. He's very proud how he did that. So this whole "I love you, Dad" thing, I don't know where Tom Taylor's going with it. He could be doing some fucking weird shit with it. You never know with this
Tom
guy.
Taylor does write some good stuff every once in a while. I'll give him that. Like, he's either hit or miss. Like, he's knock it out of the park, amazing, or just really, really bad.
Okay, so let's just talk about it. What happened right here without just going into the details? Because all I see
So right above that, the fucking Wonder Woman and Superman, if you go up there, pass the torch over to Nightwing for him to save the planet, and then Bruce gives him the blessing. So somehow Superman, Wonder Woman, and Bruce Wayne forsake the planet and put it in the hands of Nightwing, who creates the Titans to pass the torch. And all I could think about is what pussies, these literal superheroes with powers, and Bruce Wayne, who literally is still, going to be more powerful than the kid he's patching the torch to. I was like, well, is it a cool moment, or is it like, dude, get back to work, Superman? You ain't got shit to do. Come on, you're Superman. You don't have to expend energy. This guy can just he can't even chase a criminal for a mile. He'd be too tired, right?
I hate.
So
DC.
Go ahead, Trey.
I'm just gonna say, y'all know me, and I love DC Comics more than anything, and they are so fucking dirt trash shit right now. It's the fact that we're even having these conversations. Honest to God, it's the fact that they don't want to have Batman as a main character shows their fucking stupidity. They've tried for 2.5 years to they've killed him in the Justice League books. They've killed Superman, the whole Jace Fox deal. It's like DC and Warner Brothers, all right, who makes us the most money? How can we fuck this up? There you go. It just blows my mind that they're just like, no one wants to read Nightwing books. Go look at the Comic-Con. It's fucking hanging on. It's just barely hanging on. It's like, no, we've made some really good decisions the last 4 years, haven't we? They're all looking around at each other, these assholes and idiots in a fucking room that have torn the company down. Like, this is a good idea, right? Yeah, let's go for it. And here we get, this is the kind of shit you get. And then you get a cheesy ass moment at the end of it. Look at, that's a weird hug.
First of all,
that guy hugging, the guy doing a weird floppy arm hug is about to fucking leave the Justice League. No.
When you hug your dad, did your dad go up from under, or are you each one
that's
over?
what I mean.
I'm each one over. I'm like this.
Well, I'm saying first of
all,
like
this. Like, that's a women thing to me. But
yeah, I got it.
I think
I'm saying this.
Swapped. I hug weird because.
Like this.
Hold on, wait.
I get people that think they're tall. They're gonna go over my shoulders, and I'm all, come on. Then they have to go under.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
I try to be the taller guy.
They're hugging.
Me and my dad did Oppo. It was equal.
I'm confused because they're hugging with Speedos on. Like, that's a problem for me. They in damn thongs, like Batman in a thong hugging another man.
Oh, come on, man. It's a comic book show.
Nah, sir.
You can't go with their outfits, dude. Come on, that's Batman, man.
Nah.
You can hug his
kid, no hug like that. That's a warm embrace.
At least they're the Speedos on the outside of the leggings.
Yeah, that's a warm embrace right there, brother. No, it's not. Don't hug me like that, brother. I can love your dad, but don't not no 2-arm was it Titanic hug? Nah, we don't need that.
I'll tell you what, I feel bad for anybody that never hugged their dad, dude. That's hardcore, bro. Fuck.
Oh no, I'm not saying don't hug your dad. I'm not.
Still has one.
No, people are saying that in the chat. That's crazy.
Yeah, people are saying that.
Wow. He said my dad never hugged me. My dad didn't do hugs.
Hardcore. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a hug when I see you, Ryan. I'm gonna give you a hug when I see you, Miss Horsecock Express, or whoever else said that.
My dad didn't have time to hug me because he was fucking working.
Oh man.
First of all, he said I'll ask my dad when he comes back with the milk. It's been 15 years. Brother, if you're still waiting for your daddy to come back with the milk, you feel free to join me. I've been waiting for a long time. And I know I'm not gonna see him. It's okay though. Because
look at Tom Taylor, his little hat. He's so proud of that shit too.
How many times am I gonna go back here? All right. There was another book this week, Batman 134, right? That has some interesting things going on in it.
Did that come out?
Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Say that again?
I said, did it come out already or is it forthcoming?
It's forthcoming, but it
Yeah.
goes. What happens in it? Y'all need to be buying Batman 131s before the night's over. If you're one of the subscribers and you're hearing this, Batman 131 is the first appearance of the Red Mask. And if you read some of the solicits and some of the things today, there is and here it is. This is the cover to 134. There you can tell that there's some people, that they think it's another world's Joker. They think it's another different Joker from a different universe, but there is some correlation between this Red Mask character who's been pulling the strings and the Joker. And there's a 1 in 100 Quesada variant. I think there's a 1 in 50. That's a second print that's coming out. But this is a new big Bat villain. The thing about it is they said Zdarsky and his team have been working on this villain for like 3 months, patching it all out. So there's a 1 in 100 variant for 131. There's a 1 in 50. There's a 1 in 25. And I think there's a 1 in 10. So if you guys are into Batman villains and stuff like that, there's been a bunch of the last 5 years.
That's actually a pretty good cover.
Piece, I love it. That's a Quesada one, or however you. I don't know how to say his name right.
Quesada.
Yeah.
But that's the first appearance of Red Mask, and that's what Zdarsky has been building up into, is to get to this character. So I have some faith in it. I think people should look into it and potentially invest a little coin in one of these and put it in a long box.
There's that 1 in 50 right there. That's a foil variant, so that probably came out pretty. Hopefully, it looks decent foil wise, but who knows? You know what I mean? Like it's those foil books, man. I feel like they're horrible quality foil. They're definitely nowhere near the quality of foil that Trilovision had for Little Bitcoin. That was just fan-frickin-tastic. So maybe when publishers start using that type of quality, these books will sell more. So very interesting. There's the second print Jimenez variant. I know a lot of people.
Weird.
Yeah, it does look weird, bro. It does look weird.
That doesn't scare me off at all, because that's the kind of I like shit like this, because everyone kind of looks at man, that looks like something corny, and it could be the fucking Joker's son. It could be who knows what it could be that could have some connective tissue for 10 years down the road. And that's what I'm looking at speculation wise. I'm not looking at next week. I'm not looking 6 months down the road. I'm looking for those variants. And here's the thing: there's a shit ton of DC ratio variants that are just sitting in long boxes right now because nothing's going on in comics. Start picking up all those cheap 1 in 100 Batmans, 1 in 150s, all those that you can from those titles. There's going to be first appearances. There's going to be things that happen in those Batman books that will make you money down the road if you just have patience. And I think this is one of those things. I mean, I don't think you're going to, get a return on investment anytime soon, but I do like Zdarsky's writing. He usually has some pretty big visions, and with some of the rumors and stuff that came out today, I think it's worth a few bucks.
Yeah. Another thing to jump into really quick that's pretty interesting. We've been talking about it for a while now, and that is this Sports Illustrated for Kids that everybody is on the lookout for right now.
I don't want to talk about that. We need to find something else, man. I went to Books A Million. I went to the most rural spot in Houston for this Sports Illustrated book. And what I found, to my dismay, is they had the Sports Illustrated from November, December, but not to January, February. They have not stopped the January, February. And I'm looking at this book being just sucked up everywhere else. And when I tell you, I went to the most rural part of town. They had every book you could possibly think of except that book. And they said that we haven't even gotten our shipment in yet for this book.
Watch everybody pull out their 5 copies right now.
Oh, absolutely. And just make me sick. Why don't you? Because I called Vinny. I said, Vinny, you'll be so proud of me. I went and got the book. And Vinny said, well, yeah, which one you get? I said, yeah, it's November, December, right? He said, no, it's January, February. I said, really? And he was just like, yeah, bro. I said, man, it was like literally sitting there. He was like, yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, I will say that this is, if you all are looking for it, definitely Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, I suggest calling ahead. But I called several, and I will say that a lot of people are on the lookout. And what it is actually the first rookie card of Victor Wembanyama, who is like being called, if people are not up on it, he is being called like a generational player, like a LeBron.
Unicorn.
Unicorn. He's like 7'4", right, Brian? Like
that can bring up the ball as a guard. He's bowl times 100.
Yeah. Is that one of the centered ones, Trey?
Did you get a centered one, Trey?
No, this is not one of the centered. I have some centered ones, but this is not one of them. I was just showing that this is what we were after.
Yeah.
So listen, so let me just put out a plea. If anybody in the chat, 77 people watching us and joining us right now, if anybody wants to send me a couple of copies of this book so I won't be left out looking weak in these streets, please feel free to tap in with me after the show. I know, Trey, you said you was going to send me one, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to do that.
As we say, you're double dipping now. Fucking now we're getting...
You know,
you just lost your one from Trey.
Shit.
Trey wasn't, I told Trey I don't want to take any from Trey because Trey, man, Trey needs to hold on to it for me for later when I need it.
Let me give some advice on this real quick. Here's my advice. My advice to anybody that finds any of these: if the card is not centered, don't pull it out of the magazine. Don't even think about it. Keep it in the magazine. Get that fucker graded. Get the magazine graded a 9.8, and then nobody cares if the card is centered, right? Only pull it out, and if it is centered, pull out the whole sheet. Don't cut the card itself, and look into it. Do some research on Twitter and Instagram and forums, in the Discord. As a matter of fact, jump in the Discord and do some research about. There's people out there that are specifically like used to take X-Acto knives and cut these in such a way that they have a good chance at getting high grades, because you have to cut them in a certain way in order to send them into PSA to get a high grade, which is tough. So
here's my thought process, and I think I have 30. Vinny probably beat me now. He beats me at anything in life. Ever since I met Vinny, he's humbled me, and he has better shit than I am, and that's just it. So I have 30. He probably has more than that now. But this is what I would do. If you find copies of these, do what Brian's saying to an extent. If you have off-centered copies, sell them on eBay. If you're in the one that you currently see in this photo, that is 85% of the cut. That is exactly what they look like. They are very heavy on the left side, right side, depending on how you want to look at it, and very, very sliver of white on the right. Very much like the old Star Jordan rookies, the XRCs. Wow. There are a few that are centered. Do not be afraid to pay $40 or $50 for a good centered copy on eBay. You will not lose money on it if it's centered. I mean, unless Wembanyama hurts himself, which knock on wood, and it's very possible that could happen. It's 17, 18-year-old kids. We're old enough to see that. I mean, it's not a guaranteed thing. But these centered copies of these are going to go for fucking insane amounts of money. We've talked about it on this show before. The old Serena Williams, the Tiger Woods, the Tony Hawks. I mean, Brian's done 50 of them. I've talked about them. These cards are money makers. They cost you $6. They're selling for $40, $50 right now, and I just don't see how it goes down in value. This is one of those really nice flips. There's not a lot of good flips out there right now. It's a flip or a hold. I think if you can afford to hold them, even if they're not perfectly centered, I think you're going to make money long term. But do what you can to try to make sure you at least have one good centered one in your portfolio, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I would say get a little creative. If you can't find them at Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, try to see if you have any local newsstands that might have them. Potentially grocery stores, just other places like that might carry Sports Illustrated for kids. Just think outside the box a little bit if you're really looking for them. The other thing is Josh has mentioned that there's another important rookie card in there from, I forgot the name actually.
Elisa Thompson. It's Elisa Thompson. She was the number 1 pick in the draft. She's a really talented player.
Nice.
And he's right. You know, everyone kind of, but the Mia Hamm rookie card goes for fucking buku bucks. So if this girl goes on to have a career similar to Mia Hamm, could be a fucking big card. So, emo Josh had a good thought in that little head of his. Proud of him.
Well, in the November-December issue of Sports Illustrated for Kids, there's a Julio Rodriguez card.
This is what's cool. Is not everyone is aware of these Sports Illustrated. They are now, unfortunately. The cook groups, the kids know about them. So if you want one of these, don't fuck around too much because they're not going to be sitting on the newsstands.
That's real.
There's too many sharks. I'm not going to say live where I found mine in Oklahoma just yet because there's too many fucking piranhas in this little kiddie pool. Way too many. You think Houston's bad? Shit.
Yeah. Nah.
Talk about piranhas, man. The piranhas are feasting right now on a kid called Beast NFTs.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. Vinny will tell you, Trey, I've been talking about a kid called Beast. We had, Raspy on the show. When it came out, and there's still 3,700 left of these that's going to mint on Friday, right? It's going to mint this Friday because they crashed OpenSea. They crashed Discord, their own Discord. They crashed their Twitter. When it hit ridiculously. It was the number 1 trending NFT on OpenSea. It was the top NFT on OpenSea, beating out Crypto Punks and Bored Ape. Right now it's in the top 10 because everybody is waiting on the other 3,700 to hit, which will hit on Friday, and it'll do another surge. Again, if you'd have got in on these, the initial price for the people that got in on these were like 140 per beast. At yesterday, right now is 0.475 because they're waiting on the others to come up. When me and Vinny talked yesterday, it was at 0.6, whatever, almost at 0.68. Which is
tell them what 0.6. Tell them what
that's right up under $1,000 for. That's right up under $1,000 for one of these.
So all you old fuckers that were rolling their eyes and talking about like the NFTs and this and that, literally the very first guest Marcus was nice enough to have on, his project that we were telling y'all to buy would have been equivalent to number 1 on Stein's hot list. That's what it was on the world of NFTs. This was number 1. All the ones, the cryptos, punks, everything that we talked about. Like, if you would pay attention, and Vinny's been humble. Vinny has a list of the shit that he's talked about just on this show and what they've gone up since he's talked about them. People are going to fucking hate themselves when he finally shows it because, there's multiple that have gone up $700 to $900 since he's talked about them. This is another one. If you guys would have listened, this is $1,000. You may not like it. You may not understand it. But having it in your wallet with the ability to flip and sell it, that's a lot.
How much were the buy-ins on it? And did any of you guys get it?
$140.
140, yeah.
Did you buy one, Vinny?
We didn't get it off the mint because everybody crashed. Right. So there were 18 million bot requests for it when it was the other day.
Yeah. And so what happened was, just to be clear and kind of, share with everybody, as, I've been in contact, with Raspy as well. What happened was that there was a list that was created and we were on that list, but they have some developers, some devs, and the devs were trying to weed out the bots. So, it's like, like on VV, they got bots, and, Trey knows all about the bots and all that other stuff. You get these bots to come in, grab it. So the bots will buy the NFT, then now it's in your wallet, and then you can sell, for a profit. Well, they just canceled all of that. They killed all the bots, but in killing all the bots, they killed some of the other people as well. Like, a lot of people on the list, like we were on that list. A few other people, like a few other Bored Apes, a few other whales, bunch of important people was on that list. And so they're going to figure out how we're going to get it. Bots truly ruin everything.
Yeah,
So we're going to get it figured out between now and Friday to get our hands on these. But right now, where it's at is literally what, about $400 or $500, Vinny, at 0.48. What is it?
It's actually still kind of high. 0.46 is still
The
$700.
floor is 0.475. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like $700 for these, but you could have got it for $140.
Yeah.
And some people did get it. Some people did get it. But those were the people, and I'm gonna tell you who those people were. Those were the people who were living in the Discord, just like we tell y'all to stay in our Discord, communicate in the Discord, talk in the Discord. The people that got it were the ones that were in the Discord because Raspy put up another alpha bot, which is, basically a thing to collect names. And he was like, hey, for the VIP people, send your name and your Discord ID right here, and you'll be able to mint. So I missed that because I was at the Miss Universe pageant. So by the time I saw it, that mint was closed, even though he already had our name and list and all that other stuff. I like to just kind of, whatever they say do, I'm going to do it anyway because I don't want no shit. So this is literally crazy right now what a kid called these. They are calling it the blue chip of 2023. They are calling it the Bored Ape of 2023, the Crypto Punk of 2023. This is what's starting the next run, is those beasts. And I told y'all about it forever ago. Just like Vinny was telling y'all about video games forever ago. So it's like you can choose to chase these comics, or you can jump into some shit that's gonna make you some immediate money.
That's what I mean. There's nothing going on in comics. I mean, there's like I said, people are excited about a Jack White open order book. That's where we're at in comics. No one. I asked today in the Discord, is anybody else is reading comics? Not a single person is reading comics. I think what Dan Piercy might be reading some independent titles, but other than that, no one's reading comics. Everyone just looks at titties. That's all they want to do is be like, hey, what perverts drawing what covers of titties now? And that's what people talk about. That's comic book discussion, speculation in 2023. So fuck yeah, this makes sense. Do something cool. Quit looking at weird titties all the time. Make some money.
It's a comic book.
Speaking more in the NFT world, more and more big companies, big brands jumping on Lego Metaverse experiences are on the way.
Yeah, Lego could soon be launching a variety of metaverse games and experiences based on the recent job listings and roles for its newly created game initiative. GAME stands for Games, Activations, and Metaverse Experiences, with 3 primary staffing roles being listed for it at the time. The new initiative is also said to be the first action taken by parent company as part of its $1 billion investment, into Fortnite developer Epic Games. So Lego and Epic Games are about to tie in and be a thing. So before revealing game, Lego had to publicly share its interest in making Metaverse a safer place for children through a variety of initiatives with Epic Games. So Epic and Lego are getting together to start rolling out shit. So you already know, again, this is if you start seeing Lego Fortnite, grab them. If you start seeing anything Fortnite game, grab it right now, because all of that is what you need to be seeing, because that's where it's going. It's going there right now.
I got a question after this next story, because this is the first metaverse talk of the night, and now with the next story, we got some more metaverse talk. Azuki begins development on Metaverse City. Halumia is how they're something.
One second, Brian, before you go there, I do want to mention, with Legos moving to the metaverse and video games and stuff like that, if anybody's interested, there is the first Lego video game, which is called Lego Island. It was for the PC. So if anybody's looking for kind of the first Lego video game, which may be a big part of what's going on here, that would be where you could go historically.
Nice.
That's good shit. Nice. Yeah. So Azuki is a blue chip NFT that came out a little bit after Bored Ape and the explosion of Bored Ape. Azuki is one that is truly a blue chip. It has stood the test of time with all the buffoonery and bullshit from the owner on down, and it's still here. So now Azuki has launched an interactive map for its metaverse city called Halumia. City currently features 10 different locations with interaction points. While a full release date hasn't been announced, visitors to the Halumia map can click on each site to learn more about it. So basically, it's going to be a spot. It's going to be their metaverse where if you have an Azuki, you can have a place to go. You can take your Azuki there. You can play games in the metaverse. It's almost like you're now going to have digital real estate in the metaverse. Digital real estate in the metaverse with your Azuki, which now makes your Azuki that much more expensive.
I got a question. I got a quick question. If each one of these NFTs is creating their own metaverse, doesn't that kind of kill the idea of the metaverse? Isn't the metaverse supposed to be where all these groups can play in the same pool?
Yes and no. So what you want is when you have, like, let's say, Bored Ape, Bored Ape, they got the sewer pass right now. So that's just part of the thing. But they also have the other is it Other Land? Yeah, I think it's the Other Land where they have their own Other Deed, where they have land in the metaverse. So each place has its own land in the metaverse. Like Snoop, I think has land in the metaverse through, I think, either Roblox or something like that. And somebody paid like almost $500,000 to be Snoop's next door neighbor. $500 to be Snoop's next door neighbor in the metaverse. So all of these places are going to be a thing in a minute. Okay, you're muted, Brian.
Which metaverse, Marcus?
One more time.
What metaverse? So that's my thing. Is like, if each group is buying, creating its own metaverse, like, then why would you want to? I guess my thought process is now you're going to have to buy spots in all these different metaverses. Is the plan to connect them all at some point?
Some of them you can't even get in unless you have the NFT. Like, to even go to other Ds, you got to have a Bored Ape. So to be in this Azuki land, you got to have an Azuki. So they're creating places for you to go. Now, will there be cross collaboration somewhere? I'm sure along the way. Like, let's say, so with Yuga Labs, that is a couple of them all together. So you got Bored Ape and a few of the other ones. So I'm sure through Yuga Labs and other deeds, they can cross collaborate with all the other brands that they have under Yuga Labs to be in the other deed place, right? So, let's talk about, with Invisible Friends, that's part of RCC, Random Character Collective. And you have Invisible Friends there. You have a couple others there, Iron Paw Gang, all of that Garbage Friends that's getting ready to happen. It's a bunch of those things. So it's all about creating the place that, you're creating more value for your NFT. Let me say that. So I saw the person that said if NFTs don't have some sort of utility behind it or cool collecting factor, they're dead in the water. That's anything. That's a comic book.
I agree.
So let's be clear. Let's not just talk about it from an NFT space. If a comic book is there's nothing special about it. If it's not a Batman Adventures 12, if it's Batman Adventures 22, there's nothing special about that book. It's just a comic. So then that's dead in the water. But what you want to have is something that's moving down the street. A Kid Called Beast is moving down the street. Bored Ape, Azuki, some of these other places.
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's is entering the metaverse to celebrate Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year, through a paid partnership with VR artist Karen Chang and Spatial, right? So McDonald's has teamed up with Karen Chang to celebrate the coming of the Lunar Year. Chang, who is most well known for her eye-catching VR work, has created a variety of immersive experiences, including augmented reality. So you'll go into a McDonald's, hit the QR code, and you have this augmented reality that happens at McDonald's to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The ad is one of the very first to integrate the use of NERF, which stands for Neural Radiance Fields tech, by utilizing AI to create 3D scenes. In addition to the innovative commercial filter, the two have also partnered with Spatial to provide an interactive and immersive gallery-like experience. Now, Spatial is more for the sound, right? So it's going to kind of engulf you, not just for what you put on, like through either the Oculus or whatever. But sound wise, it's going to engulf you in it as well. So it'll sound like that it'll feel like you're actually somewhere else.
Yeah, that's cool. The reason I bring up the stuff about the metaverse is because I felt like at one point there was only like 3 metaverses that they were talking about. And wasn't there like some thought process that Facebook was going to be one of the biggest metaverses, and that every NFT and stuff would have their, like, you could buy your own real estate in there, and each NFT would have their own cool thing going on in there. So like now everybody's just going to have to jump to different metaverses to do their thing, right? It's not going to all be in one area.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna more so say that, with all of it, you just got to find the one that makes sense for you, right? Like, let's say, there was a cannabis NFT. I'm sure that that probably would be something that totally garnered your attention, Brian. So let's say if you had a cannabis NFT and then there's a cannabis metaverse, then in that metaverse you got like-minded people that are moving around. You can network, create opportunities, build friends, whatever else. Like create a green book of, hey, when I'm in this city, I'm gonna go to this person to go buy this, or whatever the case may be. That's what it's all about. It's just creating network and building experiences.
You know what I pictured? I pictured like that Steven Spielberg movie, Ready Player One. That's Absolutely. What I pictured when I first started hearing about metaverse, and that was so intriguing to me.
But you got to remember with these movies, and Vinny will tell you this is God honest truth. They always give you a glimpse of what they already have, because these movies is getting information, because the military and all that other stuff is like 15 to 20 years ahead as far as tech and everything else. So when you see stuff like that in the movies, you saw Ready Player One before they had an Oculus. Think about it. They showed you Ready Player One, and then Facebook had an Oculus, I guess, a year or two later. And it will still slide down over your face. You're immersed in a world. It's the whole 9 and 10. So they get you ready for it with the movie, and then they bring it to fruition and say, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's just different worlds that you can explore, really. I mean, because like, for example, I've gone like into like little events, right, in different things like spatial. I've gone and spoken on a panel, for example, into a room of people that were all like in avatars. I've gone into Decentraland and attended a concert over there. So there's like all these different things you can do. And the thing is that this is like going to different states, like Marcus was saying, going visiting other places. And when you are in these worlds, you can set your avatar as the NFT that you like, your PFP NFT that you have. So if I have a Bored Ape and I want to set myself as that in the world, I can do that. Or if you can use all of these things. So if somebody wants to set theirs as a Azuki or a World of Women or whatever, they can do that. So those are just like what your profile is going to look like within that world, but you can kind of move around and do different things.
And then it also means, and I'm going to cut you off, Vinny, and you can pick up where you're at, but it's also a flex, right? So when you're in this world and you have a Bored Ape, and you're in this metaverse, this Bored Ape that you're talking about costs $80,000, and you're literally walking around the metaverse with somebody else that has one as well. Not everybody can be in that metaverse with you to have that kind of conversation. So then it turns into, okay, well, you got a Bored Ape, I got a Bored Ape. So we both know that we both looking at least $80,000 to $90,000 for this ape in and of itself. Let's have a conversation. What are we talking about? What's going on? You see what I'm saying? Same concept. Go ahead, Vinny. I'm sorry.
No. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So because I see somebody that says that Omar says everything that is everything but convincing people NFTs are cool seem to be a lot more difficult than comics, cards, or toys. But let me say this, and this is real. We live in this world where we're comic book collectors, but the real world will probably look at each one of us as stupid because y'all collect comics or y'all collect cards. Like, I'm a grown man and have a Pokemon card collection.
Speaking of Pokemon, that leads us into our next thing. Take this over. I'll be right back.
Okay, I will take it over for you. So thank you so much, Brian McClay. Here we are. Prepare for trouble. Fake Pokemon NFT game wants your private info. Luring in NFT enthusiasts to download a fake game that installs remote control software that takes over your computer. So Pokemon Company just sued this company that did this. Security researchers at ASEC via Bleeping Computer spotted 2 different Pokemon themed websites that invited users to download a Pokemon game that they thought was real, but it didn't come from the official Pokemon trading card game company. And it's a malware disguised as a Pokemon themed NFT that only wants you to click a compromising link that would immediately install remote control software that infected other computers, allowing hackers to gain access to private user data and future malicious cybersecurity attacks. Social engineering tactic even went so far to create what may be described as a pretty convincing fake website, along with a fake marketplace that you can claim and mint Pokemon card NFTs. Now, anyone knows that Pokemon has not dropped an NFT yet. And when they do, it's probably going to be with Vivi, just to be honest with you, because the guy that got Vivi blowing up comes from Pokemon. So it's already kind of understood that Pokemon is going to be on Vivi. So anytime you see any kind of other NFT or Pokemon NFT, it's not real. You just got to do your research. It is what it is. But just to see this is no different than, selling fake baseball cards, selling, old, what did they used to do with the PGX slabs? Like, you crack open the slab and find out it's a total different book. They just had the cover. Oh, you thought you was getting an AF-15, but they had the cover, and then inside of it was like Avengers versus X-Men. It's just all kind of shit. The tricks don't stop, the scams don't stop.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are finding fake Pokemon cards in the third-party Walmart packs.
Yeah, I'm hearing all of that.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this in the Discord a couple times, but be very careful when you are in the NFT space. I think the most important thing you do is you go to the official sites, hopefully the ones that are checkmarked, Instagram, Twitter, or go to the official Discord, go to the official links page and do everything from there. Do not look at any of your direct messages on Discord. Do not look at any of your direct messages on Twitter either, because they're very convincing. So just try to do that. Only go. I don't even send out links. Like today, there was a mint link for what's it called? Broadside. And I mentioned it in the Discord today, but I said go to the Discord and get your own link, because I don't want to put it like a incorrect link in the Discord. Because these guys are out there. Like even with the A Kid Called Beast, they had a different website that has the E and the A switched around. A Kid Called Beast, but with the A and the E switched around, and that's a fake mint site. So you guys got to just be careful.
I know a guy that minted on that site and lost 30 ETH. Yeah. 30 ETH because his wallet got drained because he jumped on and thought that he was minting from A Kid Called Beast, but he was minting actually from The Kid Called Beast. And he didn't look at the right link. He just did The Kid Called Beast and lost 30 ETH. Do you know how much 30 ETH is?
Well, it's funny you guys are talking about all this way, because one of the images that I love of A Kid Called Beast is this image right here. And if you guys have any pulse on the NFT market right now, who does this look like? This looks like fucking CoffeeZilla right here. The guy who outed Logan Paul. He outed Logan Paul as making an NFT that he was working with 3 huge scammers, and they scammed the whole group. And CoffeeZilla found out about it, and Logan Paul came out and shot off his wad and said, "I'm going after this guy. I'm suing this guy." And the rest of the NFT world and the rest of the content creation world said, "You're wrong on this, bro. You fucked up." And Logan Paul just put out a new apology video for CoffeeZilla. And this looks just like CoffeeZilla, but with A Kid Called Beast. I thought that was very interesting, man. So
can I break it down a little bit to some things that some of us have been a part of? Because a lot of us are we're all somewhat similar age here. A lot of our people paying attention are similar age. When they try to scam your fucking grandparents, this is the same thing. Okay. Like I had my mom, I had a friend just trying to help her before I moved back here, try to help her just lower her bills, get rid of her house, gets rid of her house phone, unnecessary, nobody calls it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no. My mom's always, she lives alone. She's not always paying attention to her cell phone. I need her to have a house rent. So we get her like the Magic Jack thing, right? She gives the phone number out to like 5 people. Well, occasionally you'll get like a call. And she's like, well, I got this a phone call. Give me the email. And you just click on this thing. I'll click on nothing. Click on nothing. Forward me on anything you're gonna get. Forward that to me. Let me see. No one knows that number. No one's gonna leave you a phone number. Like, right? No one's gonna leave you a message on there. It's not important. You don't write it on anything. She didn't even know the number to it, right? Same thing. My grandparents got scammed. It's one of those phone calls, and I still feel. I mean, they have passed since, but I feel terrible. They called and said I was in jail in South America when I was at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I missed a phone call from them, and they transferred freaking $5,000 Western Union to get me out of jail. All right, think about it. Don't click on shit you don't know and don't understand. Think about maybe we're the old people. I am. Maybe Marcus isn't. Maybe Vinny isn't. But I'm the old guy, right? I'm still trying to figure out the wallets and everything else. If you don't know what you're doing, don't click on shit. All right. Same things you tell your parents when you tell them that you need to check their email or their voicemails or whatever like that. All right. Just look at it.
Dude,
Be careful what you're doing.
I got a similar story like that. And I swear to God, I don't care if fucking gets a strike or not. Like if I ever found out who did this, I get a call. When I was working oil rigs, driving, this and that, different oil rigs all across the country. I didn't have best cell service. A lot of times I'd be working and then, I'd come out once a day and I'd have a bunch of voicemails and this and that. And I get a voicemail from my grandma and she's crying so hard she's hyperventilating and can barely talk. She's like, call me and let me know you're okay. Call me and let me know you're okay. Some motherfucking piece of shit called her and said, yeah, Trey's in the hospital. They won't do the surgery. But you need to send $5,000. Luckily, she didn't send the fucking money. But, I mean, she was literally in the process of fucking doing it. And I just happened to be coming out on top of the hill that night to do it. But there's motherfucking people who sleep at night who do shit like that. They should be fucking – I can't say what I should really feel, but, I mean –
I did. The Western Union people stopped my grandpa from sending it a second time. They're like, this isn't real. This isn't real, and you're not going to get your money back. And my cousin got a hold of me. My grandparents, they don't have cell phones. Did not have cell phones. They only had a landline that was a block number. I mean, come on, dude. I'm in Baltimore drinking, buying comics, right? I'm not answering a phone call like a block, even though I pay attention to it. My cousin called me, got a hold of me, and then I called them. And I had to basically prove to them, not prove to them, but my grandpa said stuff like his nickname for me, shit they wouldn't know. I was like, yeah, this is, and anyway, yeah. So look at it the same way. I don't want to get too heavy into this. I already
but it's so needed.
We talked about dad hugs tonight.
Yeah, but it's important because people are looking at NFTs like they're the devil, and they are not. It's just the natural progression of what the future is going to look like. It blows my mind in a comic book conversation. We're on a chat where we talk about comic books and toys and cards and all these things that can make you money. And then we bring up something that is new to the table and say, hey, this is a new way that people are making money, want to hip you to it. And then everybody, tends to, I ain't gonna say everybody, but the majority of people tend to turn their nose up at it because they be like, it's just a picture, y'all out here buying pictures of monkeys and this, that, and the third. And
my problem with that is, Marcus, the same people who bitch, they don't read comics, they don't watch sports, and all they do is look at the fucking covers of comics, and that's how they speculate and trade and think they're this and that. So don't let them go. If they don't want to get their fucking feet dirty and work and figure out how to do this wallet, don't fucking babysitting them. Like I said, we've done it. We've talked about it long enough. If people don't want to be a part of it, good luck to you. But like I said, when Vinny, you should drop that list in the Discord. The pluses, since you brought up. Honestly, just because It's like if you guys are fucking half the chat's fired up about Spawn Batman variants from fucking Barnes and Noble making $7 after driving halfway across town, and Vinny and Marcus are talking about tangible things that can make you between $500 and $1,000 consistently just by learning how to stay up on it. I'm with you guys. It blows my mind the distaste in life.
Let me say this. Let me just to make it all make sense, and I'm done. I have this NFT called Invisible Friends. Me and Vinny jumped in on it a long time ago. It's an Invisible Friend. This is too funny. They're called Invisible Friends. They're actually pretty freaking neat, right?
That's like all your friends, Marcus.
Those are mine these days.
Thank you, Vinny.
So
I will continue
from the fucking top rope.
Yeah, you know,
Vinny
my friends are invisible just like your hairline. So we got something in common. So now moving forward.
Fair.
How you doing? How you doing? All right. So look. So anyway, so we have invisible. So we have invisible friends, and Vinny had talked me into getting one, and he was just like, Marcus, you need to get one. I was like, bro, I want to get one. They're so expensive. And he was like, nah, bro, you want to get it? We're gonna do this, and this, because you got the IP rights and all that sort of stuff. So we go deep down the rabbit hole. I end up getting an invisible friend. And I paid some decent amount for it, but it was lower than what it normally is now. That same invisible friend right now, let's say I bought it for $2,000, I think. Bought it for $2,000, whatever. That same invisible friend right now is worth $10,000. I spent $2,000 and I'm already up $8,000 on something that's only going to continue to tick upward as everything starts to move up.
Again, it's been 2 weeks. I have not sent any rap country links to Marcus or Vinny. I've gotten 2 calls from Vinny, 0 from Marcus.
Don't do that. We talked yesterday.
So I'm not involved in these phone calls about these cool NFTs either. So don't feel bad. I thought I would be involved, but I'm not. It's Vinny and Marcus. It's like they're like the Road Warriors and shit. Like the fucking Demolition. That's who they are. It's fine.
No, you know what, Trey? I'm going to do right because you're right. Me and Vinny had these conversations, but I'm going to pull you in on this stuff because you know what? You're ready to pull the trigger on these NFTs right now. So I'm going to do right by that. I apologize to you because we have wallets. These conversations. I know you do. You got it all right now. You're ready.
I got ledgers. I got.
Right. You are absolutely ready. You know what I'm saying? Didn't you make money on the Trump NFT?
I did.
See?
Real quick.
I mean, we ain't got to talk about nothing else.
Manny, the comic collector, says apparently Batman Superman World's Finest 11 reveals the Joker's real name. I read it. It does not reveal the Joker's real name. It does bring back Gog or Magog or whatever from the Kingdom Come universe, but it did not reveal the Joker's name that I saw. I could be wrong, but I read it. I didn't see it. So
where's Manny in here? Is that Facebook?
What's that? Is it in Facebook? No, YouTube. He said it from YouTube. So yeah, very interesting.
The Magog thing's interesting too, with the whole James Gunn reading Kingdom Come and then trying to bring him back into a continuity. That's very interesting timing.
Well, that new character that they brought in for that series, this David character or whatever they're calling him, Thunder or something like that, he's an interesting character. So it'll be interesting to see where he plays out, but he's obviously a big part of that book. So very interesting. All right, next, finally, one last thing with the NFT stuff. This is we were talking about utility in NFTs and how important they were earlier. We hit on that quite a bit. We have a new one, a luxury Day Away brings luxury hospitality to the Web3 space.
Yeah, man. Day Away is curating a luxury hospitality experience and privileges as it has announced the launch of its Genesis token dubbed the Founder's Key. This key will exclusively launch, it's already launched and launched on January 12th, and it will provide holders with real-world privileges from day one, including luxury experiences and events curated by a variety of iconic brands. Day Away shared that the vision behind its Founder's Key NFT is to provide instant value and utility to its holders. Already, Day Away is the leading online destination in the hospitality world, with visitors using the site to discover and book curated luxury experiences. Platform has formed relationships with brands like Park Hyatt, Waldorf Astoria, Raffles, Rosewood, and the Intercontinental. Those who hold one of the 500 Founder Keys tokens will unlock a wide variety of VIP benefits in areas like hospitality, travel, retail, wellness, and food and beverage brands worldwide. So this is something that, again, you want to speak about utility, it doesn't get any better than that.
If that shit don't work at the fucking La Quinta Inn, the Holiday Inn Express, or the Sheraton, it's fucking worthless to me, because all those hotels you just mentioned cost more a night than I can afford. So like I said, unless it's got like a coupon to get a free fucking Shasta at the La Quinta or something, I don't know how I can use something like that.
Maybe an RC, but yeah, whatever.
He said the Waldorf Astoria. Like, I had to Google that shit, and it was like, nope.
I'll stay there in Manhattan for 10 days.
I've stayed at all those hotels. It's I mean, it will provide utility and value to me. You know.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, I guarantee the Waldorf Astoria ain't got fucking hot water like the La Quinta Inn on the east side of the river in fucking New York City.
$32 fucking only 12-year single malts.
That shit will scald the fucking skin off your dick. It's so fucking hot.
Yeah, see, and that's why I can't go to La Quinta, because I don't want the skin off my dick scalded off. So I don't trust.
That's how you know you get the good shit, though. It burns all the stuff off that you get.
No, you're fine at La Quinta, dude. The La Quinta is the one that burns your dick hair off.
Yeah, the La Quinta and the La Quinta.
No, La Quinta's fine. La Quinta, dude.
La Quinta is the one.
You walk in, they got a nice shower. It's all remodeled. That's La Quinta, dude. Fucking you go in.
I lost my virginity in a La Quinta Inn
out of the top of their thing and burn your pubes off, dude. That's the La Quinta.
Room 139. I've lost my virginity in a La Quinta Inn, 139 off 240. True story.
Man, listen, I was at a La Quinta early on. I stepped.
Shit was nice too.
I killed a roach. The roach was crawling. Killed a roach. Went to go get some tissue. Came back. Damn, roach was gone. You know what I'm saying? Came back 2 days later. Roach knocked on the door with bandages. Said it was too legit to quit.
I'll stay to La Quinta next to Oakland Coliseum 25 times at least. They only had
I've never understood the super expensive hotel rooms. Because literally, like, you go to like a good Holiday Inn with a good continental breakfast where they actually use like real bacon and shit, where it's just out. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to deal with a waitress with an attitude that wants to show you pictures of her kids. None of that bullshit. You get your ass up, go downstairs, put your luggage up, get you a plate, you get you a couple biscuits, some jelly, some fucking bacon, and then you get your ass in the car and you go. It's part of it. You don't have to pay for it. I'm telling you, it's underrated.
I pass out drunk anyway. We all figured this out. So
if you have to pay to park your shit at a hotel, I can't. Nope.
Dude, if I stop shaking enough that I can even shower before checkout time, it's a fucking win, man. I never up until I don't have time for breakfast, dude. That's ridiculous.
I'm going to say there's a difference between getting in a shower where the shower curtain sticks to you while you're trying to take a shower, and
that Dollar Tree.
Yeah, water.
That Dollar Tree shower curtain. Yeah. I want the water when I turn on. I want the water to fall from heaven. I don't want it to just bust me in the face. I want it to come down on me like this, and I can sit under it and let it just do what it needs to do.
He's doing the Uncle Joe. He got a chair. He's taking a chair and shit into the shower with
the shower has a seat in it. Yeah.
See, that's what I can't.
You get the handicap room because it's close to the elevator.
Absolutely.
Marcus, you showed us that meme with the shower curtain in the crack, right? I almost fell out, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the dollar shower curtain.
Yeah, the Dollar Tree shower curtain. Yeah, you trying to shower that Dollar Tree shower curtain, stick it to your ass. Nah, I'm good. I don't want no part of it.
Joe, we know you don't care. Your wife's not having it.
See, man, I agree with Mrs. Horsecock. That's exactly right. Like, if it ain't got a monthly rate, I can't fuck with it. Like, if there's not like a little kitchenette or something where you can cook some chicken fingers on your own and don't have to pay the expensive shit, man.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say this.
Vinny's wanting to make fun of me so bad. Look at him. He's literally over there shaking. He's just wanting to fucking make fun of me.
Now I will do this. I will turn the AC down to meat locker temperatures. I got to be
To get you
ice
sick.
cold, bro. It's
Oh, you
and people
can't do it at them fancy places. You
Yes,
gotta
you
call
can.
down
You
the
can't. You
Yes, you
just turn it on
can.
full blast, and then how are you going to sleep with the fucking gunshots in the parking lot if you don't have the fan on fucking as high as it goes the entire time? That's it. Plus the people fucking between the halls, the people smoking in the hallways. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it
You
ain't that.
have to
First
have
of
it
all,
on
no,
full
I
blast.
got
lived in
standard.
an
Ain't no
apartment
fucking in the hallway.
LA for over 20 years. If I don't have full blast fans going at all time, I can't even sleep. And I
I've
would just do
said
it to drown out the neighborhood sounds for all the years
yes.
that I lived over alleys in LA.
I've said that I'm not going to stay at a hood hotel anymore or a raggedy hotel. I remember early on in my career, I would go to New York, LA. We was in LA, and we went to a hotel, stayed at a hotel. It was a Motel 6, I think, or something like that, something of the sort. And we were just coming into town for an event, and
Nice
when we got there,
establishment.
yeah, okay. Till you get to the room, and it was ramen noodles cooked in the microwave left there. It was a nut rag on the towel in the bathroom on the floor. I was like, "Oh, bro, no, I'm not gonna do this. I won't do this. My body will not allow this." You know what I'm saying? Roach legs on the thing. Yeah, it was a nut rag on the floor, bro. It was a nut rag. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, yo,
It
y'all
was
left
just
ramen
solid,
noodles in the
dude.
microwave. Yeah,
It was
a
bent
nut.
like this, and it just stayed like that.
Yeah,
No, you
And
can
then,
always
when the
tell.
edges of the towel don't hit the floor,
No,
14
you can
nuts
always
in
tell
there, dude. That's a
because
gangbang
it's
nut
not the
rag.
face rag. It's that
cockeye
middle
fucking
towel.
wipe off nut rag, dude.
Yeah. That's
It's the
nothing
middle
but-
towel. You always use the middle towel. It's never the face rag. It's never the big towel. It's that middle ass towel. What else is it there for?
In a friend's house, I won't dry my
Oh,
hands
I
on
mean-
the front towel. I go to the back of the towel to dry my
Yeah,
hands.
absolutely. Because everybody else drying their hands on the front of the towel.
And, hey, don't nobody start doing this because I thought this was a me
I thought
thing.
you just gave it away, dude. Everybody else does that, so it
I don't
defeats
do
your
whatever,
purpose.
man. All right.
It defeats your purpose, brother. See, the people that are like thinking the opposite of that, like I think 4D chess. I already think people think that, so I'm all over the front of that towel. I turn
No,
it
the
inside
front of
out.
the towel is always wet. The back of the towel is always dry. Trust
Yes,
me,
man.
dude. I'll go on the top. Dude, when I hold doors, I hold them at the top to push them open because most people can't reach that high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that when I
Bro,
step
I got what I got,
Bro,
man. You gotta
bro,
use.
I
You gotta
kick
do what you gotta do.
I kicked
All right.
all doors open.
Bro, listen, I pull the shit
Also,
from the
I'll lick the
bottom.
floor if I spill my food. Also, never get COVID.
You said you
I
do
have the
what?
immune system of a
You said
cockroach. So
You said you licked the floor.
You got COVID?
not really. No, I don't get any of that shit.
Wait a minute. You
Dude,
said
I wash
you
my
licked
insides
the-
thoroughly with alcohol all the time. Like I just know
Well,
I'm
you
fine.
might have
Wait a
started your own
minute.
strain of
Wait a
COVID.
minute. Wait a
What?
minute. You said you licked the floor if you dropped food?
I don't actually lick the floor. But I'm just saying, I'm a firm believer in the 5 to at least 10 second rule. Like right,
And
yeah,
a
I don't
Laquita?
care. Yeah, I just picture like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care, dude. Yeah, you know what? Look at my shirt, man. I don't get sick. Right? This is the anti right here, dude. Right?
Living that life.
Right? I never do that,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't
get sick.
understand the
Oh.
I have
disrespect
the
we get
immune
to
system of a fucking cockroach, dude. My family's both sides lived here for hundreds of years. Like fucking,
I've been a
I
La
just-
Quinta Platinum member for 6 years. There's a lot of disrespect
dude,
going on
I'll stay
tonight.
wherever I'll do it. The only thing I do, I don't like bad sounds, and I don't like pubes and towels. Other than that, I could deal with whatever. Right? Pubes and towels are fucking gross, man. That's
My whole deal is the carpet. It's got to be the carpet. Can't be dirty.
I bring flip flops.
Well,
So
yeah,
almost every
that's-
time I'm on vacation, I put a side of flip flops. I bring bathing suit even like the winter in case I'm gonna go, and I pretty much never go in a pool unless it's like a real pool vacation, some Mexico shit or my backyard or something. So fucking so bring the flip flops, dude. I'll wear them around. I just wear flip flops.
Bro,
you never swim in a hotel pool. That's even. Any
I
type of pool.
stayed. I
I
stayed.
live in hotel pools where people.
Mm-mm.
It's fun, man.
You did
It's
what?
America.
What they do in the pool? What they doing in the pool?
Hedonism.
Man, look, it's not hedonism.
I went when we were in Baltimore. I came out of my hotel room to smoke a blunt, and I walked 6 steps while smoking the blunt, and I looked over, and there's a fucking human feces pile on the ground.
Yeah.
And I had to, and nobody wanted to take my blunt because usually I'll just give my blunt. Like if there's a half left, I'll give it to like a bum that's standing around, and nobody wanted to take it because it was in the middle of COVID, right? So rightfully so. So I was like, I'm done with it. So I put it out in the feces pile and went into the con.
You did what?
Hold on. I came out of the con and walked by that said feces pile less than an hour later with that man over on the far right there to go drink some lunch, and the blunt was gone.
Oh!
But can you imagine how much more high? Okay. Anyway,
Wait a minute. No, stop. You smoked. I just want to make sure I process this correctly.
Do we know Sean didn't leave the shit?
No,
Do we
okay.
know
I
he
didn't.
was sneaking?
No,
Next to
wait,
my hotel, I don't
please
Usually-
take me slower. I just need to understand this. Wait.
I blasted a turd in the street, but not somewhere where there's
You
like,
blasted a
places to go.
turd in the street. Sean, hold that thought.
Not that time.
Stop. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you were smoking a blunt.
Not in the city like that. There's plenty of
Got
places
you.
to shit.
I got you. You were smoking a blunt, Brian McClay. You looked over, saw shit on the floor. You put the weed out in the shit.
Yeah. Half a blunt.
Went to go get some water.
Went to go to the con. I went into the con to meet that guy.
Went into the con, came back. And the blunt that was in the shit was gone. It pulled a Houdini.
It pulled a Houdini.
Boy,
Somebody
that's
pulled
the
that
man.
fucker out
I
and
tell
smoked that
you.
fucker right up, bro.
But let me tell you something. See, this is why I can't do drugs. You can't. You ain't. I'm not gonna look at a joint and some shit and be like, you know what? That's still a good joint. I'm not gonna look at a joint and
There's
some damn
big rats
dookie.
in Baltimore, dude.
I'm not gonna look at a joint and some dookie and say, you know, that's still a good joint. and I'm gonna smoke it.
You was there.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Baltimore's a crazy place, bro. Baltimore is a
I've gone like,
place.
and not including the COVID closing years because those don't count. I'm like 5 years in a row or something like that. And
this
fucking,
is how COVID
whatever,
spread.
dude. Whatever. Let's go, dude. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm prepared for inner city drunkenness anywhere on this fucking planet. Dude. Yeah. You let me out of the house, dude. Oh my god.
I've seen the mighty Casey fall, though. I've seen it. It's very rare, but I've seen
I'm
it.
just gonna. I mean, and we can move on. But that boy Sean
You can
said,
rally.
I blasted a turd in
I
the
wore the right
street.
shirt tonight.
No, listen. This boy Sean said I've blasted a turd in the street before. I just want to make sure.
Sometimes you gotta shit, dude. You gotta have him pull over the car.
One time was Seattle during COVID, and like literally, like everything was closed, and it's raining, and I'm like, right, and like all the stores are closed, and we're trying to walk like a mile and a half in the rain to get to the restaurant. So I hit an alley, dude, and there's this big pile of like trash stuff over there. So you just let it blow all over into that big pile of shit in Seattle to match all the rest of the shit over there.
Oh,
then
Seattle
smells
smells like shit and piss when you walk out.
Oh yeah, and because it's wet, you could just pick up like one of those wet like
you
beer
can
boxes
stop right there. Don't
you
you
can wipe
even
your ass
tell-
with it because it's already soaked.
No, you just take off those,
and you just throw it in the dumpster and pull your pants up, and then just when you get to the restaurant,
wiped your ass with some wet newspaper from the street.
No, it's a Corona box. It's like technically just cardboard. It wasn't newspaper yet. You know what I mean?
Scraped it.
What do you want me to do? Pull my pants up? I was happy it was wet.
You're muted, right?
I was happy it was wet.
Better Sean.
Dude, I've been partying all over this planet. I got stories of this on multiple continents, dude.
The very first time I ever hung out with
fucking whatever you want to say, dude. I've been doing it all everywhere for a long time, man.
Drop my throws,
right? Come to the con. Ask for some stories. Let's go.
The very first time I went to
let's trade fucked up shit. Let's have it.
Okay.
Literally.
The first time I hung out with him, we were at a bar off the boardwalk in Venice, right? And I mean, I've known him for a little bit, but like this is the first time we hung out. And he was like, hey man, I need your help. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's like, I need you to guard the door. And I was like, excuse me? And I guess the men's restroom was being used, and Sean had to take his shit. And he's like, I need you to guard the door.
They had a broke. It wasn't a shitty bar. No pun intended.
It was a shitty bar.
It just no. This was actually the I can picture it. It was the end of Broadway in the street I lived on. It's actually Santa Monica, not Venice, but like whatever. It's by the pier. And anyway, point being, it's fine, but the lock was broke, and my stomach, man, we've been walking around drinking IPA for hours, and I was stomach, and I was just like, there was nothing wrong with the bathroom. It wasn't like unmaintained, but the lock was broke. So I was like, dude, just don't let anybody in, because I was in there by myself. But it was like, but I can't drop them real quick. You know what I mean? If I don't have somebody watch the fucking door. So I was like, bro, dude, just don't let anybody in. I mean, I'm like, literally, this 60 seconds of preliminary, splat, and just, wipe and just clean up, get the fuck out of here. And I was fine. That's no big deal. I would hope you guys would do that, but I'd do it for you.
If you would have
had
seen
no
these
choice
girls,
and you were stranded down by the fucking beach,
if you would have seen this group of girls
man.
trying to get by me,
it's time, man. It's time. I go down and drink IPA for 3 hours sitting on a seat, and to get up, start to walk home, and be like, what was I doing?
You were drinking something else too. You were drinking some fucking jalapeno tequila shots too. If you don't remember, I remember.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
that was from the old brick and mortar, which is now called Tipsy Chef. My friends still own it. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, man. Hey, dude, come to cons, come downtown. That's probably why you didn't call me last time I was at LA Comic Con, right, Mark? No, I'm never calling you, dude.
All right, here we go. On to the next segment, ladies and gentlemen. The video game segment from our Vinny this week is a very interesting one.
Right,
we're taking in a Sonic variant hunt on this week with some interesting data on some crazy variant video games here.
Yeah. So I just want to educate people on some of the variants out there for Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Of course, a lot of people have been chasing video games all over the place, NES, etc. Genesis, a lot of the games have hit record numbers. As you can see here, this Sonic the Hedgehog sold for 360,000 last year in April. But there's a lot of nuances. So even if, we've always said on this show, especially with these older games, if you can't collect sealed, maybe something to target is CIB. So when you're looking at CIB, I wanted to, or sealed, if that's what you're interested in. The prices are crazy for a game like this, but these are things that you can actually find out there. So I'll let Bryan log in here for a second on Heritage. But when I first got into collecting video games, this is one of the variants I was looking at, and I was told that Bryan, if you can go to the back real quick. This says made in Japan, by the way. This is a made in Japan version. But if you look at the back right there, there's white writing in that black space. Now, before, one of the experts told me that if there's no white writing, that's kind of an earlier print. Now, that might actually be the case, but the thing to look out for is the address right here, right? So here it says 130 Shoreline Drive, Redwood City, California. And Bryan, if you can go to the next one really quickly. So the next one says South San Francisco, right?
And no white print on the bottom.
No white print on the bottom. And let's see here.
South San Francisco. And this one sold for what? Like, let's see here. What did this one sell for? Some ridiculous amount also, right?
Yes. And then there's
240,000 for this one.
Right. So there's a few different versions, right? So there's a South San Francisco address. There's actually two South San Francisco addresses. One that says made in Japan, one that says printed in Japan. There's a Redwood City address, which Bryan just showed.
This is the made in Japan one, right? Made in
Japan, but this is Redwood City. I think I don't think I sent the link of the South San Francisco made in Japan. I think I mixed it up with the Redwood City. But the point is that there is two South San Franciscos and there's one that's Redwood City. If you what we've determined, I think, by looking at the dates that the addresses were actually occupied, is that the South San Francisco address versions came first. After that came Redwood City. I think that the distinction between both of the South San Francisco address versions, one being made in Japan and one being printed in Japan, is that the made in Japan is supposed to be the first version, according to one expert. According to another expert, the version with no white writing is supposed to, on the bottom, is supposed to be the first one. So I don't think CGC or WATA has made a designation of this just yet. So what I would say is, as of right now, it's still undecided, but South San Francisco first print. So that's something to key in on. If you find a Sonic somewhere, if you're, at a Second and Charles or one of these other places, that would be the first thing I'd target is South San Francisco. See if you can find
What's
that.
this one right here? The one that kind of has like this one looks like they added something to it or something.
Yeah, so this is a kids to adults version. Go back to you can see it right there, kids to adults, and then go back to the front real quick. Right there, like to the left of Sonic, it has a K to A right there. So this is actually a later version that came, I can tell you, that version
for 45,000 on October 9th, 29th.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that one was a later one that came, I think it was in late 91.
And what does the regular one say? It doesn't have anything on it, huh?
It'll just say early. Yeah, it doesn't have anything on it. And then on the WATA label or the CGC label, it'll say early production. Like I told you guys before, WATA, CGC, they still are not even clear on what the first prints are. So it's still kind of up to the experts to deduce what these things are. But that's kind of a rule of thumb. South San Francisco, first two prints. Redwood City, if you see that, that's the third print. The not for resale actually dropped just a few days after the first print as well. The not for resale version, I didn't include a picture of it, but that was the pack-in version that came with the Genesis. If you bought the Genesis with Sonic the Hedgehog in it, that would be the not for resale version. Collectors don't really go for that one as much, but I will say that if you can find a sealed not for resale version, it only dropped like 2 days after the first print release. So it's actually not a bad one to target.
What was you had a link for the Sega offices. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, so if you can click that real quick, I'll show you. So just scroll down all the way to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And my point in this is when you are doing your research on video games, sometimes you really have to look at the fine print, look at the copyright dates, look at the addresses, look at all this stuff. So if you can see here, I was distinguishing between South San Francisco and I was distinguishing between Redwood City. Redwood City, Sega moved to that office from 1991 going forward, right? And then scroll up just a bit, Brian. If you look at Sega of America right here, where it says South San Francisco, that was occupied from 1986 to 1989. So that's how we can. So that's how we can smart. Yeah. Damn. So I think that's one way to determine it. I mean, I was telling Trey the other day, I actually found a sealed copy of Wolfenstein 3D at a random store in Podunk, Georgia, right? And there is another version of it on eBay, but if you look at the dates on it, the dates are slightly different, and the version that I found is actually an earlier version than the only one available on eBay. So I was pretty stoked about that.
That's smart. That's the type of thing that smart collectors do, and they do it early, right?
See, so, Vinny got his first check after being a lawyer. He went on eBay and he bought a lucky golden horseshoe off some gypsy, and it's been his best investment because that fucker, he just does not miss. Lucky Vinny.
Yeah. So Uniform 13 is saying made in Japan is probably first, not printed. So I've heard it both ways. One of the big collectors like that really knows his stuff in this world, Josh Byerly, I'll give him a shout out. He actually thinks made in Japan is the first one. There's another guy named Hopper who has a podcast, and he thought that the version without the white writing would be first. So I think it's still a little bit debatable, but it might be made in Japan. Josh is Josh is pretty spot on. He's now working at PWCC, running their video game stuff. He's kind of the expert over there. So, I think for me, until it's actually printed on these labels and it says first print, second print, third print, fourth print, fifth print, etc., it's still a little bit up in the air because every day people are learning about this stuff. So it's not quite so cut and dry.
You want to hear something crazy? In this collection that I bought, I was going through stuff in this collection and I found an old school. It was a membership card, and it was from the 80s, and it was for a place called the Sega Center, and it was a place where you would go play video games, and you would put stuff. So was that in one of these places, the Sega Center? Like, is that how Sega started? They were like they had like stand-up games and shit.
I'm not 100% sure about in the United States. I know that the Sega has had a massive arcade in, I think it's in Shibuya or Akihabara, and it's like one of the big attractions over there. But I heard it was closing at some point. So, but I think it did. I think that was a big part of its launch in Japan.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Did you see that these are all addresses where Big Leg took his shit at?
Yeah.
Bryan, and then I also just wanted to show what the let's see. I want to show what the Japanese version looks like if you have that.
Yeah, while I pick it up, Iman Tony says, Vinny, are sealed Atari games worth anything for collectors?
Absolutely. Yes. Sealed Atari games are. They've been really shit on by the video game collectors for a long time. But now we're starting to see more of more interest in it. The prices are going up more and more, so that's been really cool. This is the Japanese version. This came out in July of 1991, whereas the US version came out in June. So this is just another version of it. And then Bryan, I dropped you a link in the chat. I wanted to just show the master system version as well. Yeah. So this one I think is a pretty slept on version of it. This is the one that was released in like the UK and Europe. It was released the exact same day as the United States release. This is on the Mega Drive. I think this is a cool one. I mean, it doesn't quite hit the numbers that the US version is hitting, but if you're talking about chronology, we're not really we're on the same page as the US releases. So I like this. I like this version as well.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. It's amazing too. I mean, you see the Japanese version, how much it sells for. I mean, this is going for $42 right now.
Yeah, it's really nothing.
So, yeah, so pretty cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to take a look at was the pop report for Sonic the Hedgehog, just so we can take a look at what these numbers look like on the different versions. So let's just look for Sonic real quick. This should be the Genesis.
Here, does it not want to look for it? There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh? What? Am I doing something wrong?
It should be right.
There's only one that's popping up.
Oh, you know what? Scroll down. You gotta expand the view. Yep.
There we go.
Also, somebody. E-Man Tony also asked about PlayStation games being collectible. Absolutely, I've talked about PlayStation games on this podcast before. They're already collectible. We're seeing record highs on Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Twisted Metal, a bunch of those games, and PS2. And when we're even moving to PS3 territory as well, like Assassin's Creed and games like that too. So absolutely. So so looking at the pop report here, only 42 graded copies by WATA, right? The Redwood City address, which would be considered the later version of it, 15 graded. Made in Japan, South San Francisco.
Hold on, sorry, bro.
It's all
I don't
good.
know why I did that. Fucking pain in the ass website.
No problem.
Fucking with me. There we go.
Yeah, the Made in Japan, South San Francisco, only 2 copies out there. The KA writing that we talked about, also 2 copies. And then the printed in Japan, just 5 copies. So no matter which way you look at it, it's only a few out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool thing to be on the lookout for. We all know that. I think that the generation after the Nintendo generation, that younger generation, kids that are like anywhere from 20 to 30 right now, there's a lot of them are Sonic kids, right? That's what they grew up. They grew up Sonic fans, where most of us grew up as Mario fans. So I think that the Sonic stuff is definitely worth taking a look at, especially. We talk about it all the time in the comics and all the time in action figures too. A lot of those early Sonic action figures sell for a grip, absolute amazing amount. So very, very cool stuff. Love it. All right.
If anybody is looking, or if they want to watch like a really cool auction this weekend, there's going to be a signature auction on Heritage, where we're going to see a lot of big boy games, and we're also going to see a lot of the CGC cases finally hitting the market, where we can see some, we're probably going to see some really cool prices on that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into the market report, and then we'll call it a night, you guys. We are at 96 live right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Really helps us in the algorithm. Also, make sure you guys are checking out the Discords. I got the correct Discord links in the description below. You guys can find those for now. Give me a heads up if they're not working. And that being said, let's get into the market report for January 18th, 2023. Starting off with our comic spot this week. We got some interesting comic sales this week for sure. A lot of grails. A lot of the grails that we were looking for back in the early days of CBSI, a lot of the grails that kind of started the whole variant craze sold this week, and we'll give you some interesting numbers on those for sure. So here we go, starting with the Neil Adams Ghost Rider #1 from 2011. This is a Canadian sale, one bid sale, sold for $1,000, but that's a super rare book. It's a 9.6 CBCS. That's a book that, Sean, you talk about quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to say I finally bought in at like 14. I let it go at about a 17, but mine was CGC 9.8. Also, mine was the most illegitimate 9.8 that anyone in the universe had ever seen, which is probably why I got it cheaper. So I when I resold it, I did put like pictures showing there was like a white, like a scuff, like I'm talking 9.0, but it says 9.8 on the case. I wasn't about to regrade it. You know what I mean? I just made sure that I sold it as such. So yeah, but I think it's more than that. Neil Adams, the Losey's a better cover, doesn't get as much love. I actually have one of those for sale. But yeah, so yeah, that thing is fucking ghost. That's rare. There's no diamond cell. That's a rare ass book right there.
Yeah, I love it. The Wonder Woman 38 Finch 1/100. We've talked about that here before. That is just such a beautiful cover, and a raw near mint, quote unquote near mint copy sold for $510. 41.
It's my favorite Wonder Woman book. It's perfect. You know what I mean? And so I talk about it's not too fucking pervy. You know what I mean? It's classy. It shows what it needs to show. It has the lasso. But yet it's simple with the white background. There's just not too much going on with it. It's just a perfect variant. I love those ratio variants to that time period. Those new 52 ones, I really do.
And the 35 to like 41 or 42 was the Finch covers, and they were all beautiful. I mean, this takes the cake. This is the winner. It's not even close. But yeah, was it 1 in 100 though? I don't think it was.
Yeah, I believe so.
It was.
I don't
it was
think
a one,
so.
Because they did. They snuck it in, if you remember, because
okay.
I bought mine in Baltimore that very first year from a guy because it was one of those ones where I could not find a copy and I wanted one. I think I paid $550 for mine cash in Baltimore in whatever year that would have been, that first year. So
I got off the freeway
glad
on the
to
way
see
to Palm Springs for 300. And I know I sold it to Justin Sanders for 500, and he got a 9.8 because I didn't think it was a 9.8, and then I was sad. But
Yeah. 41 likes, you guys. We've got 97 watching right now. If you can, please hit that like button. That really helps us out. Next book on the list, one of the books that during the pandemic was just a book that everybody wanted. The Something is Killing the Children #8 Decal variant, 1 in 25. Such a gorgeous book. Great placement of highlight color. The color palette of the whole cover is amazing, and yeah, the machete is a great part. So a 9.8 CBCS sold for just under $900. So love that book. And then the iconic, it even says iconic in the heading, Pop Kill #4, the original Hughes variant for that series. The Kickstarter variant, only $350 as it says in the heading. A 9.8 sold for just under $1,500 on 24 bids. Love that book more than the one they put out. I feel the one they put out is just a little too trashy, especially. I mean, it's kind of funny, this and that, but like this one, it was perfect again without being too trashy, as Trey kind of said.
I agree.
You still see everything you need to see, and it's a wet T-shirt thing, and it makes more sense with the hydrant and the bullet hole in the root beer can. And I'd rather have a kid looking up at that than a chick with her tits just hanging out. So it is what it is. $14.75 on that one. Next on the list, Strange Academy 1 in 50, the Opena Breakfast Club variant, a 9.8. It's dropping down under 1,000 now. It's getting to that point where I think we are stupid for not picking these up. I mean, it's getting to that point where it's really stupid for us not to be picking these up. If these drop to like 600, we're idiots. All of us are idiots for letting these continue. And the Vengeance #1 1 in 15 variant is still, even with the shit show that was America Chavez, that book is still holding on, man. $2,125 for a 9.8. That's a killer price right there.
Yeah, she just got reannounced to star again. Yep. And I mean that's less
star in what? What did she star in the first time?
I mean, she was a pretty major character in Doctor Strange, dude. I mean, she kind of starred in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
They couldn't have done the movie without her. I don't the way they did it, you know what I mean? And that's less than half price. Tough 9.8, tough book. One that nobody gave a shit about is Delauto. She's not on the cover. So yeah. I don't know the census on that book, man. I don't think it's that high. I'm not saying I'm even in at half price, which is $21.25. I'm just saying that's it is what it is. There's believers, and Marvel believes in her. They're not going to quit using her. So
yeah. That Miles Ultimate Spider-Man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vinny.
I was going to say, Brian, why do you think the Strange Academy is a deal?
Right, because that was a $2,000 book 4 or 5 months ago, man, and it has the iconic Breakfast Club homage, right? That and on top of it,
13.
look at the new characters in it.
It's gonna happen. That's why
characters. It's gonna happen on TV. Yeah.
But
and
the problem with it, though, they're gonna fuck it up. They're already fucking it up. They're already trying to shoehorn it in and bring it in. This is something that they need to do 10 years down the road. There's 34 issues of Strange Academy. How do you make a TV show where there's 34 issues?
I think it's going to be a while.
I thought they announced that Wong's going to be the teacher and the whole 9 yards.
With Chavez, Wong and Chavez, right?
Yeah, and they're not even in which has nothing to do with the Strange Academy. So it's going to be Marvel. They're going to fuck this book up, and it's going to be a $300 book when the series comes out. The same as any of these Marvel properties in the last.
The first print, not 1 in 50, 9.8, still a $400 book. The cover 1A, like the first #1 cover is still $400 9.8. Considering this being a 1 in 50, I don't know. The #1A, you know how shit just doesn't really, I don't know how to say it, defies their ratio, defies whatever you want to say. That cover A for this book is a big deal. So. I don't know. I don't think it's the worst investment considering what we've seen things go for forever. They might fuck it up, Trey. I mean, I don't have tons of faith. I'm waiting for this year to see how things go. I do Quantumania to me looks good. To other people, maybe not. I don't know. They're really gonna make the Marvels a musical. I'll throw up in my mouth. But like, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they're setting the hopefully they're learning from the mistakes of the last year and so.
Yeah.
So
see.
yeah.
That Miles Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the Staples 1 in 50 variant, is another one of those super hard to find ghosts that was selling in high grade 9698 for almost $3,000, which was crazy.
Like 6?
What?
Wasn't it like 6?
More? Oh yeah, sorry. 98 it was selling for like 6. For 996 it was selling for like 3.
Sold mine for $250. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and 92 for $1,025.
Oh my god. When's the last time we saw a modern 9.2 variant go for $1,000?
Yeah. Beautiful cover. Great cover. And then I love this. I've always loved the Amazing Spider-Man 569 second print with Anti-Venom on the cover. Of course, this is when Marvel started doing their interior splash covers for their second prints, which I loved. I thought it was just a cool idea. Because I would rather see the character on splash on the cover that they first appeared. Even if it's second print, I still think it's a good idea. But this one, raw set $375. Tough book to find.
At near mint minus.
Yeah, near mint minus. You got it.
That's not even a bad grade for second print.
No, that book is so hard to find in any grade, yet alone high grade. So. Next, we had a Grail sale this week for a lot of cheaper than it usually sells for. That Sailor Moon #1 from 1998 Comic-Con is a major Grail for a lot of collectors out there. We have a couple community members that it's a Grail for them, so I hope one of them picked it up. I know this book was mentioned in the OTR Discord Grail section, so hopefully somebody scored it that was looking for it in that section. So
I wonder if you can see the date since they used it like an actual camera. If you can see in the bottom corner, like they actually have the time date stamp on an eBay picture. So.
Yeah, I'd have to go check on the eBay one because I pulled these from it. So interesting. Young Allies #6, the Art Adams. That book is crazy sales on it in the last couple months. A 9.2 signed sold for $860. So that's super tough. And then 2 classic Supergirl covers, pretty close to Trey on this one. The Superman Batman #4, the original German foreign variant, printer's proof book, sold for $6.99 raw. And then the book that started it all, Supergirl Legion of Superheroes #23, Hughes 9.8 CBCS. Sold for $863.
CBCS.
Yeah, and terrible cover picture. Look how bad that shit is.
CBCS, man. That gets 500 minimum more in CGC on that book.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I bet you a lot of those CBCS books are graded better than most of the CGC ones. Yeah. So.
All my old CBCS books, I'd still rather have them than fucking some of the CGC 9.8s I see people have. So I get selling them. But long term, I'm happy with the grades I have in my CBCS books because I graded and pressed the majority of those fucking people's books that they have in their collections, and I know which copies were cleanest and what grades they should have got and what they shouldn't have got. And CGC was handing free grades out for a very, very long time. It was like Sean was talking about with his Adams Ghost Rider. I mean, there were 9.2s and 9.4s with 9.8s, and they were everywhere on the market. CBCS was a lot tighter in that time period.
Yeah, that's true. This is the more recent, but like I agree with you. I've had no problem adding CBCS for PC books. For flipping, dude, I just use CGC for the money. I mean, straight up. Same price, I get more money. So
can't go wrong doing that. And Benny talked about it video game wise. We're seeing the same thing right now with WATA and CGC. I mean, the CGC games are fucking blowing the WATA and the VGAs completely out of the market. I mean, there's talks within the next 6 months they're going to swallow the whole market up. So we'll talk more about it. They do. We'll talk more about it later on.
Next, we have some vintage sales. The R Gang Comics #1 at 2.5 sold for $12.75, and a lot of people don't realize this, but It's a cool book just for the R Gang stuff alone, old school. But this is the first appearance of Tom and Jerry also. So pretty cool.
The R Gang is?
Yeah, it's first appearance of the Little Rascals and first appearance of Tom and Jerry.
I need that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that book existed.
2 of my favorite shows of all time. So yeah.
Yep. So old school. And then I love skull covers. This is one of the old school classic skull covers. Hit Comics number 7. Super rare. Lufine cover and $3,150 for a, I don't know what type of grade that is, but it just doesn't look that great. Who knows? It looks pretty good, pretty poppin' red though. But 43 bids on that. The classic crime suspense stories number 17 with a guy getting his head blown out. I mean, I don't even know if they could print that cover today. You know what I mean? They probably get shit for printing that cover today. So some major Marvel or DC. And here's one from 1953, sold for $1,075. And then the famous, astonishing number 30, the eyes beamed death scene, $3,327 for a 4.5. Pretty nice. Can't go wrong with Golden Age or old school. All right, some more interesting stuff, some signed stuff. The CGC Signature Series 9.8 Triple Threat, all Mad Max Fury Road books, all 9/8s, all signed by Tom Hardy, sold for $1,025. So about $350, a little bit less for each. That's not too bad, in my opinion. That's probably a nice little flip for whoever bought that. And then the Arrow number 1. This is interesting. Arrow number 1, the old school from 2013, the Stephen Amell photo cover, and it sold a Signature Series 9.8 for $510. He's showing back up in the Arrowverse, aka Flash universe, for the final Flash stuff. They're all coming back, so that's probably why this person chose to put that up there. Pretty smart. Cool book. I love this Dexter signed book. Dexter number 1, 9.8 Signature Series, signed by Michael C. Hall. It's a 1 in 25 for Dexter. Great looking cover. Cool to have it signed by the actor of a great series. $300. I feel like that was probably a steal for that.
Yeah, I feel like I would have bought that if I saw it.
Yeah, that's a great resale. A tough book to auction, I think.
Yeah. So this next book blew me away, the rabbit hole that I jumped in because of the Discord group. Somebody was talking about it, and the original OG zombie tramp from SR Graphics, and this showed up in the market report. This is the volume 2, number 1 from the self-published SR Graphics from 2012. It's got a sketch by Dan Mendoza on it. It sold for $4.99 raw. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. Hold on here. Look at the prices on the OG Zombie Tramp stuff. You can't find these books. It's number 1 from SR Distro. You cannot find that book. Good luck. It's crazy. The price these things sell for. I remember this Mel talking about this book, how he had a couple of copies of these and he sold them for like $1,000 a piece or something. Now people are asking $10,000 for them. They are so hard to find.
I got one, but it ain't the graphic novel. I got one of the holy shit.
That one? I mean, they're not going to get 10 for it, but Mendoza's cool as fuck too, and he goes to all the shows. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, and there's not very many of them out there, so it's absolutely crazy. So be on the lookout for those. It's nuts. All right, next. How about this? Somebody missed out. Somebody on this panel, I'm sure, missed out. 2 Black Boy Fly number 1s, and both 9/8 sold this week. One for $26.49 and one for $3,000. Both Hebrew Brantley Grail books for a lot of people.
I just want to acknowledge that Vinny has disappeared off the screen and then pop back because he knows he is being a hoe with not giving me one of those books. That's it.
You know, I was talking to Trey about this, and I think we determined.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Bullshit. I don't want to hear.
Probably an equivalent price to a Jim Lee commission.
I'm sorry. I can't even understand. I got feedback on my mic.
I can do the. I think that's just a fan on Marcus, but I think we could actually do the trade. I think we could do.
We discussed it, and we think it's fair. And if you're into that, we're into it. So you just let us know.
Yeah, Trey's just on the side helping me out here. But yeah, Mark is gone.
Hey, at least you didn't sell yours for $100.
Yeah.
I sure should have one.
I had faith in this book. It was different. It was one of those ones where it came out of C2E2. It wasn't talked about. And it was limited, and people weren't sure if it was a graphic novel, if it was a comic, exactly what all was going on with it. And it had just one of those covers. It just had one of those covers that it's just well done. I don't know how else to say it, but it just had one of those covers that it just made me think that I'm going to see this down the road again. And
I think DeVoe actually was on to like the reason that they're onto it, or like everyone now is, for being Hebrew Brantley and such. Wow, that's gorgeous. Jesus Christ.
That is what they want me to trade for.
It seems fair to me. Hey, well, I can't see the.
It's about right.
Yeah, it's just
art, or like CGC listed as art.
Yeah, it's a sketch. Yeah.
It's just a sketch, man. It's just commission. Just a head sketch.
Oh, no big deal.
Just. He did a head sketch for you.
Oh my god, that's sick, dude.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
I would never sell that. That's one I would never part with. I could never part with that.
That's
Market would be crazy.
Well, I mean, Vinny and I feel the same way about our limited edition.
We don't want to hear that.
What was it?
We've had our collection for 6 years, and we want to keep it that way.
I ordered mine online though. I wasn't at the con. Was it New York or Chicago?
C2E2, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I ordered, was it something robot or something? I ordered it from a fucking toy company online. My Black Boy Fly.
It wasn't Kid Robot. It was a different one. I forgot, Giant Robot maybe, or one of those other stores.
I got my shit from eBay the day it came out.
Toy Robot, some shit. I swear Robot was in the name. It was literally like they weren't all sold, and I just ordered one and they sent it to me for like $10.
Dude, Hebrew had
$10. I'd take $100 flip all day, but
yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that one too.
Well, Marcus,
you should just buy them, dude.
Marcus, are you offering a 2-for-1? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm just showing. I'm just showing you that
Marcus,
this is
Mike,
what
and
me
camera.
to trade for. One more time.
I said we can't see it with that shitty ass camera.
Oh, well,
Big robot.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Turn out the Salutum Sanatorium or wherever the fuck you live.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like there's fucking Vaseline on the fucking lens.
Gosh.
It was a little blurry. That's all. It was a little blurry.
That's crazy.
Turn it side. There you go.
There we go.
In all seriousness, we're just giving him shit. But yeah, no, these are really tough commissions.
Because if you don't give Marcus shit back, he will bury you with his shit. So you got to throw it back on occasion.
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
Next, we've got the Blip number 1 and 9.6 sold for $600. The famous Mario Donkey Kong book, first appearance of Mario in comics.
What the hell was that?
I think that down for 9.6.
I don't know, what was it?
I don't know, higher. There were raws going for like 3, 4, 5 for a while.
Nah, man, what the hell was that, man?
What was what? That sound?
What the hell was that, man?
Somebody farted.
No,
I don't know. That was high pitch for a fart, bro.
No,
that was a fart.
It was my chair leaning on this thing. I can tell you. You know what mine sound like.
I know what Sean's farts sound like.
Yeah, they're not squeakers. They're adults. That was my chair rubbing on plastic. Hold on.
He said they're adult size. He said they're.
He got the fuck up to like.
Our outro is him in a squirt shirt listening.
He got up to air it out of his fucking jeans. He literally did it live.
No.
Why would you stand up and then?
Well, after this, After the fucking stories I told tonight, do you think I wouldn't be like, yeah, dude, I tooted and I would be giggling and falling over?
I think you thought
I
it
just
was
talked
a
about
feminine
wiping
fart
my
and
ass
you're
with a
not
Corona
impressed.
box in an alley in fucking Seattle.
I think you'd be
Do you
cool
think
with
I
telling
wouldn't
us
admit to having a toot right
Yeah.
now, dude?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta worry about me, dude. No, I'm not that shameless.
Nah, I'm gonna
Shameful.
go back and
Uh,
listen to that shit tomorrow.
Bone number 1 is one of my grail books that I will own at some point. This is a 7.0 sold for $11.24. I feel like that's just such a classic comic book for like comic fans that grew up in the Wizard era. That is one of the books that if you grew up in that during the Wizard era and you read Wizard every week, it was the first thing you did when you got home. You read it over your comics. You kept it in the bathroom because you would read it every time you took a shit. Like, this is one of the books that you have to own, and you got to own the first print. So 7.0 for $11.24 seems like
I'm mad that they canceled the Netflix series. I was
yes.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next, we have a Transformers number 1, a direct 9.8, sold for $13.26. A Once and Future number 1, the NYCC Gold Crown variant that I forgot about. That's the main reason why I have it on here. I love that cover. That's such a cool cover. Once and Future was a cool series, and this is supposedly limited to 250. A couple of them sold this week. This one sold for $418. I think the other one sold for like almost 300, a little under 300. So cool book. And then Dave Stevens. Always nice to see Dave Stevens love. Planet Comics number 1 and 9.6. We'll talk more about Dave Stevens here in a little bit. Sold for $330. And shout out to our boy Stein, who during the Almost 10 brought up the Adam Hughes sketchbooks. And we went down a great just rabbit hole of Adam Hughes sketchbooks that all of us that knew about them knew in our heads we needed to buy them. And most of us probably said, just fuck it, we'll find them somewhere. These things are starting to pop off. Here's one, the one from 2005, the Venture one, Passport to Venture, sold for almost $400 raw. So, cool.
My buddy had him sign one of his covers. I forgot who was on the cover of it, but Adam Hughes, you know how he just signs the so he signed that right over the girl's crotch, and then that and my friend was like, "What is this?"
He always does that on the Tomb Raider one.
Does he?
With the cleavage, yeah.
He's a creepy fucker.
Next, 2 great Vampirella books. Listen, Vampirella number 1. The 1969 Frazetta is another one of those iconic books that I have to own someday. A raw copy sold for $13.25. Don't know the condition. I didn't take a real good look at it, but I love this 9.8 from Vampirella Special number 87. Great classic Vampirella cover, Jose Gonzalez cover, and look how good that book looks in a fresh CGC case, a magazine case. It looks beautiful. Those magazine cases, if they could push those things out faster, if you didn't have to wait 2 freaking years to get your books back, I would be sending so many books into CGC magazine grading right now because that just looks beautiful. So really cool Vampirella thing. I love it. Next, we have a couple more comic things. Let's jump on over. This was pretty interesting. A Batman number 1, no cover, in terrible condition. Yeah. Just torn, destroyed, rat chewed, everything.
I found a Batman number 2 on eBay a few years ago, just like this, no cover, for $200.
Well, this one sold for $17,000, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
First hey, Vinny, that wasn't one of the ones this weekend, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think you said that name, so I just was double checking because then I would have changed my opinion on what I told you.
No.
Look at you can marry that thing too.
That's crazy.
One time I was at the Golden Age show in North Belinda, and this guy sits down with this dealer on the side table, and it's a very small show, but it's like Gold and Silver Age guys getting together for years. Trey went to it one year, the first show he came out here. It's not a Comic-Con, it's like a comic trade thing, but the old school guys, gold, silver mostly, right? Fucking I don't think Trey was at this one, but the guy sits down. I look over. They got a fucking Batman one sitting there, right? They sit it on the table. They just barehanded. They just start flipping through it. They got a fucking AM/PM 64-ounce Diet Coke 6 inches away sitting on the table, right? And they're just casually talking about this Batman one. And I know the market has gone crazy or whatever, but this is still this thing looked beautiful. It was probably still $100,000 at the time. And I'm like, you can't get your fucking Diet Coke off the fucking table. Like, I have no idea. I don't know if they had the little bubble pop, so I'm not sure if it was a Diet Coke, but goddamn, it was a big old giant cup of something that they had on the fucking table next to this thing, right? Like, it's not a lot. I'm not even opposed to touching older books and like that stuff like that barehanded. I'm actually not if your hands are clean. I don't personally do it, but I understand there's a rough and there's a feel to it, and you're really not going to hurt anything like that. But good Lord, dude, get your soda off the fucking table. Because what do you owe that dude if you make a deal for it? If your fucking doofus ass kid fucking bumps into the fucking table behind him. Anyway,
I would beat his ass and then take his money for it. That's what I would do.
100%.
Next on this list, speaking of old school books, there was a run on some old school books, and I just want to. I don't do this very often, but I want to spotlight this seller. It goes by Adam's Rare Comics. Look at some of the books that he has up right now. He's got a ton of just really cool books. You know, I mean, in decent grades, a ton of old school books, like just affordable, really good books. And I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye on this seller because this is the type of stuff I love to see. These are all books that are on auction right now. And wait until you see some of the old school books that he sold this week. Check this shit out. This is the type of deals, like you can get deals out there, you guys. And when you see books like these, I mean,
This is Reese.
yeah, he sold this January 15th. These are all, I mean, look at these.
Wow.
And it keeps going, dude. Hold on.
They're
Look at
fucking
some of the old
ballers, dude.
Yeah, dude. Look
Good
at some
people too. I have to say, I like them.
Look at that. I mean, that's a great cover. And just wait. Hold on. Look at that UFO. I love that, dude. High grade, like not high grade, but good grade for these old books. And then, I mean, $94 for a king size Incredible Hulk. There's the first, a really nice, first Bullseye for $200. The famous Lois, Superman's Girlfriend 106. I mean, he's selling some really killer books, man. Look at this. And then it keeps going. I mean,
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, dude.
That's the problem with having an auction that big if you're a single dealer. Not that, like, I would be like, hey, I want to make a ton of money. I want to run 150 auctions. They have significantly more following than me, Jesus Christ. But I won't do that because like I only run like 30, 40 books max because the amount of following that I have. Like they might want 5 of my books, but they can't afford to bid on like more than 2 or 3 of them, So I don't know. Maybe these prices were a little lower for him. Or they just
I don't know, but this is a lot of really good books to all be selling. And he's got some old school world finest stuff that he sold, old school Wonder Woman, look how great that Star Spangled 93 is with the moon cover and Batman and Robin. There was just some really good books. So keep an eye on this guy. I don't know much about him. You guys let me know if you've ever dealt with them.
Oh, Blissard. Sorry, I thought you said it was Reese. Anyway, 36,000 though. It's not like it's a new seller.
Yeah. So Adams something. But anyways, look at these. I love this World's Finest 37. Look how dope that book is right there.
Yeah.
$364. Look at these right here. 38, 39, 40, 41. They're just beautiful books. And look how that red and yellow pops, $400. I mean, these books were probably a steal, like in all honesty, like a major steal. And if anything that you should be buying at the dip right now, it's these classic old school books.
100%.
Yeah.
This is it. Vintage is what's killing it right now. I can't make any money other than pressing grading things. I can't whenever I go, all the modern stuff, man, it's down. When I went to the con, LA Con the other day, all I bought, for the most part, I bought 90% vintage. found cheap Spider-Mans and stuff like that. Spider-Man's in the 100, stuff like that you can still get a decent deal on. That's the shit I bought, man. I just been buying vintage.
Yep, I think that's what I'm going to go to. I'm going to be buying books like this Bozo book for $9. That's a great buy to me. That's a cool little book right there. So, anyways, I thought that was cool. Next, we have got this 9/2 Fantastic Four 48 sold for $10,600. All right, this is interesting. This is the Death of Superman 30th anniversary special gold foil. You guys saw these books were selling for up to like $2,000. There were $150 buy-ins. I don't know if you guys saw. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw. There's only 300 of them, but they're Billy. What's that guy that does that show? I showed it on Modern Comic Mayhem. This guy is he's a content creator on YouTube, and he bought 2 of these from Big Time Collectibles, and I just got to show you guys this. This is crazy that this happened. Here we go. Right here, he pulls them out of the box. Right, look at what they look like.
That is unbelievably ridiculous. Okay, these are the special ones. This is dude. You cannot ship out that to me. You can look
at the fucking
that's fingerprints, dude.
I was really excited, you guys, to make this video to show that I got these. And that is ridiculous. That is absolutely the most horrific case I have ever seen on a comic. Especially for these.
Like, dude, like that, unless it's somehow imprinted, that's not significantly that hard for those fucking lazy idiots to get off of there.
Well, here's the problem. It got through CGC's quality, and then CGC sent it back to Big Time Collectibles, and Big Time Collectibles shipped them out. So 2 quality control services it got through. And not only
CGC quality.
Not only that, Billy over at Economics and Comics, he's a decent, content creator. He's been doing this for a long time. He's known by CGC. I imagine he's known by Big Time Collectibles. You would think that they would definitely not send it to a content creator who, I don't know how many. Let's see how many subs. Economics.
I'm saying CGC though, because
13,000 subs.
We don't know if they sent them with or without fingerprints. All we know for a fact is they were encased with fingerprints, right?
Well,
that's a fact. Now maybe they were on there before they got there, but they still graded them 9. They still graded them 9.8 and sent them out. They could have said, "Dude, we can't give you 9.8s on these," or they could have just rubbed them the fuck off and then put them in the case. How about that? If you already have a deal that everything's going to be in 9.8, you're at fault. I'm going to blame CGC on this one. Or they got to say, "We're going to burn these copies, get more printed," because. I understand the double quality control, but I mean, I
wouldn't have sent this out if I was Big Time Collectibles. I wouldn't have sent this out.
Okay, now you know what? Now that you say it, and I just kept talking, like, no, I think you're right.
Well, here you go. $810. These were $2,000 books. Another one sold for like $1,300, but this one sold for $800. This is you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with Arthur Sidem. I think he's a dickhead, but he draws fucking Marvel zombie shit so cool. And this was a very cool print that I saw. Stan Lee with all the zombies behind him. I've never seen this. And, I think Arthur Sidem's a joke, but this is a cool piece. It's signed by Arthur Sidem and Stan Lee. And this person got it. There's the hologram from PSA DNA. Nice. It's framed. This person got it for $350. I felt like I wish I would have known about this. I probably would have bought that. I think that is so cool. The only shitty part is it has they folded it or something. Like, what are you doing folding that? I can't tell if that's real.
Look at the seller though. What is? Do they write about it in the description?
Diablo 48. Yeah, you're right. Litho signed by Stan Lee, has some damages, looking to make a good deal. But I never even heard about this. Have you ever even heard about this?
No.
I've never seen that. That's fucking cool. Next, do you guys know about this? I never heard about it. If I did, it went in one ear out the other. This is Dark Horse Conan number 24. This was a CGC 9.8. It sold for $355. It's supposedly a recall edition because it has a nude Tony Harris cover. Badass cover. Look at this. I mean, and there you go. Like, holy cow. And supposedly it got recalled. It doesn't say much about it. I'm gonna have to go look up Recalled Comics, my favorite site, but I've never seen this book. $355.
What does it say on the CGC label?
It says, let's take a
Nude
look.
edition.
Here we go. Nude edition. Yeah. So I got to do more research into it. I've never seen it. Even though it's a nudie cover, it's a gorgeous. I mean, look at that. That's a great fucking cover right there, man. It's got Al Capone on the cover too. Why is Al Capone on there? Anyway, this one. Speaking of George Perez, we talked about him earlier today. Check this shit out.
Get it, Dick.
Original Starfire and Robin sketch print from 1982, signed.
Wow.
This is George Perez. Talking about Dick Grayson being a hound. George Perez knew what he was drawing right here. Like, I never, ever would have expected seeing this.
Living up to his name.
Living up to his name. $300 that went for.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also back in the day, when somebody do this, they never envisioned the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is a one-off.
Not that it's porn. He just a little muff and probably.
Oh no, that's porn, brother. That's porn. He got Starfire and
Trey, you're on mute. Trey, you're on mute.
He got Starfire.
I said, it just blows my mind that like the comic book community is just like they draw weird, they do creepy shit, but they created one cool comic book, so we're gonna let it slide. Like that, yeah, the internet came out, but like I never thought about drawing shit. I've never been like, I'm gonna picture Robin looking at Starfire looking at her asshole from the back while he's taking off his fucking his vest or whatever. It's fucking creepy.
Did somebody paid for it?
He
It was 41 years ago, dude.
He's not that great.
Somebody paid for it. It was 41 years ago.
Yeah, I bet you somebody came to him and said, "Hey, man, I'll give you $3,000 to draw this," and he's like, At least that's what I'm gonna say in my head.
They should get the same $3,000 to Peach. They might get the same fucking drawing. I guarantee it. Between George Perez and fucking Peach, it's like an eighth grade art contest.
Next, we've got another miss on our part. It says here, Marvel DC comic book lot signed with COA Jack Kirby.
What?
Let's take a look at it. It's got this same Jack Kirby book that we've talked about before, the famous Dynamic Forces X-Men 1 Museum Edition that they did. Shout out to Nick Barucci, Dynamite and Dynamic Forces owner. He did this book. I think he said he did 1,000 of them, maybe. I don't know. I got to find out for sure. I want to say it was 1,000, but yeah, all signed by Jack Kirby. And be on the lookout. A lot of times, back in the day, whenever we would see these museum collections and boxes, we'd skip right past them. And some of them are signed. This asshole decided not to even take a picture of Jack Kirby's autograph, but there is a Jack Kirby autograph on here, and this is a book that Dynamic Forces did. I think it's somewhere up here, right behind this, but you can see the COA. So $600
to have a secretary.
Yeah,
that 0648 was typed in.
Yep.
Hey, you had to have somebody set. Each one said took somebody like 3-4 days to type up to 1,000 with the sequential numbers by setting it in a typeset. Anyway,
what's
that? Up to down 7. Tell me if you like this take or not. You had to fucking pay your own money to listen to me talk tonight. So that's my fucking take for the night. Tell me if that's a week or not. You had to pay to hear my take.
Not tonight. Pro Action. You guys ever heard of this?
No.
Marvel Comics. Looks like almost like a SI. Inside, Raiders Terminator Howie Long meets Wolverine. Sean, how come you don't know about this?
I have no idea, man. I got no clue whatsoever. That is pretty fucking cool though.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
Jack Kirby signed. You got to be kidding me, dude. And why?
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
why
well,
Jack
this-
Kirby would sign that, but
I don't know who that one's signed by. Rob Liefeld, maybe?
hold on.
No, that's
No,
not
that looks like Jack Kirby. That's
No,
a
that's
J
not
at the
Jack
front,
Kirby.
a K in the
No.
middle.
No. Let's see here.
It
Hold
doesn't look like Kirby Sig. That's all it says, I guess.
on. 2 signed pro action with COA.
I don't know who it's for though. Yeah.
No, look at the top. It says Jack Kirby with COA.
No, the Jack Kirby signed the X-Men 304 and
Okay, I don't know what that was. It's not Liefeld.
uh,
There was a
X-Men
K at the back.
304.
That's why I said Kirby. I haven't seen Kirby in forever.
What the fuck? Yeah. Anyways, this lot, whoever bought this lot, they got a
Probably
nice,
decent
nice
lot.
little find. Yeah. Fearless Dawn. You guys ever seen this? You guys ever heard of this? This is Fearless Dawn, the Bomb original cover by Steve Mannion. Look how gorgeous this art is.
Well, dude, I like Steve Mannion too. You don't see a lot of his shit out there.
Yeah. Somebody bought this for $787. It is the original cover art, you guys. Like, what the fuck? Look how beautiful that is.
Go to one of those last pictures so I can see what it's the most. Okay.
There's the cover. It was a cover D.
Mannion's got his fans though. That price doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, man.
It's not like he's not still drawing or something, you know.
Dude, that.
Oh, it's from his own eBay, dude. Look. I know that I got my classic Popeye Mannion cover. I know I bought off his own eBay.
Let's see what else. Oh, look at that. He's got a Fearless Dawn Shorts #1 sketch cover. Ooh. His art is awesome, bro. Look at his signature. His signature is badass too.
Yeah. Oh, that's
fucking dope. That's good shit right there. $12.50 that is right now. But anyways, that cover art was gorgeous. All right, next we have got, this is pretty interesting. Sean Price Concrete Jungle. Sean Price, have you guys ever seen this? I've never seen this.
Yeah, these are the. I think we showed one of the other. We showed the Nas one, didn't we? I think.
And we showed the Method Man one. I think.
Method Man one. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they've done quite a few of these now. Scartaccio, I think, is the artist.
I mean, that's crazy. And then not only that,
nice.
we got this one, Raekwon right here.
Yeah,
same thing. It looks like so. And I love that in the background, the Run the Jewels Krang bot.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is great art right here. Really, really good stuff. Love that shit. All right. We're almost done, you guys. We have got a couple more toys to go. We have got the next one on the toys list. Check these out. Some Ninja Turtle stuff. Ninja Turtles. The Grail Undercover Michelangelo sold, and an AFA 85 sold for $3,600.
Wow.
This blew me away. On 18th, a vintage 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Foot Cruiser NIB sold for $1,200. On the 16th, the same, not the same one, but another Foot Cruiser sold for $266.
It's different though, because the $1,200 one was new in box, and the January 16th was just complete in box.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. A couple more Ninja Turtles ones. Channel 6 News Van, the famous Channel 6 News Van, complete in box, sold for $1,582. And how about this one, you guys? Somebody paid $2,225 for just the box that they put the ooze canisters in at the store. Somebody saved that box and sold just the box, and you get no ooze in that. Just the display box.
Dude, I mean, in all seriousness though, like, I'm not the one that's always like calling shit out, like pretending everything's fake. Buy what you want. I mean, literally that random cardboard, like, does that not seem like the worst, like, Like, what could possibly make you want that? Even if you were the guy that had the cans of ooze to fill the thing, how many of you are there that need that? You're going to both pay $22.25. Like, if it had the ooze and it was, I don't know if it came shrink wrapped, it probably did, maybe it didn't. I don't know what they did in fucking 1987, but like, you know what I mean? Even if it had the ooze, doesn't that seem like just extraordinary?
Yeah. Listen, man, rich collectors want these rare things. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio had every He-Man Masters of the Universe thing that was ever made, and he probably paid a crazy amount for them at the time. I bet you this is being bought by some kid that grew up during the Ninja Turtles age that is, you know, made a ton of money on crypto or something and just has the money to spend. So,
but like, that means there's two of them that have that much money to spend. Because, like, dude, you know what I mean? That's clearly a bidding war. Look at that thing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we should go into the business of bootlegging ooze storage counter display TMNT boxes.
Yep.
Look, they already measured them for us, dude. Like, we could figure it out. I'm pretty sure we just figured out the easiest thing to make $2,000 on in the whole world.
Just rough up
but
the
it's not a
box
Costco box. It's fucking 10 inch, or it's a foot. I'm sure that's a ruler. I'm just saying.
How about this? My second favorite sculpt for a Marvel figure ever, is the Marvel Legends. It's not even Marvel Legends. It's the Fantastic Four classic toys. This is before Marvel Legends. Dragon Man. This figure was so hard to find. I couldn't even find it. I knew when it was out. Because I was collecting toys at the time. I used to have a job. I worked in a manufacturing plant for microchips, and I worked at night from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And me and my buddy would go on the way home from work. We would stop by a Target and a Walmart on the way home because they were just opening up, and we'd go look for Star Wars figures. And I was looking for this figure when it came out. Impossible to find this figure on any store shelves anywhere, any pegs. Never find it. I couldn't find this. I couldn't find the Spider-Man Hulk figure. I eventually found the Spider-Man Hulk figure after months and months of looking. Never could find this. This figure sells for, it used to sell, I would see sales of $500 for just a loose figure. And this is an on-carded one. Such a great sculpted Dragon Man. Just nice. Beautiful stuff. Next, a 4-shot. These all sold right after each other today. A Star Wars vintage Empire Strikes Back 21 back Princess Leia sold for $13.75. A Star Wars on-card droids R2D2 pop-up saver sold for $909. A vintage mint on-card tri-logo R2D2 pop-up lightsaber sold for $12.25, and a Boba Fett Empire Strikes Back 48 back C Revenge of the Empire Strikes Back $14.89. Next, 3 grails of G.I. Joe's figures sold this week, all on the 17th. Version 1 Snake Eyes on cards, on card not graded, sold for $18.55. And on card version 2 Snake Eyes, the best G.I. Joe ever made, sold for $1,100. And the second best G.I. Joe ever made, version 1 Storm Shadow carded, sold for $1,700.
Damn.
How about the 87 payload figure that shows up in the Defiant set, the space shuttle set? This is that set came with 2 figures. It came with the guy who ran the space shuttle holder, the crawler, and the astronaut. Here's the astronaut payload with all its accessories, loose, in good condition, sold for $228. And this is what good condition G.I. Joes can fetch you. The payload figure is rare. The Cobra Viper pilot is not as rare, but to find it in that good a condition with that good of paint and the silver paint, loose, no accessories, $305. And then the famous Princess Leia slave outfit vintage collection card, unpunched, sold for $357. That figure is so hard to find. Anything with slave Leia, pick up if you see it, because it's crazy to find that stuff. So pretty cool. All right, a couple more things and then we're done tonight. We've got a couple more figure stuff. This is some interesting stuff here. I've never seen this. This is 1995 vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Warrior Metalhead. I've never seen this. Have you guys ever seen this?
I remember the character.
Yeah, but not this version of it.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. It feels like it's shinier. Sold for $200.
They were making some weird Turtles figures later on in the run. I've never seen any of this stuff.
Yeah. How about this one? Where's Sean? I'll wait for Sean to come back to talk about this. All right. There's some G.I. Joe figures here. Look at Marcus falling asleep. There are some. Hey, bro, you can unmute your mic, bro. You can unmute your mic.
No, I don't know because my kid has a fan going in the back and so it's giving off feedback. I don't hear it. I just got to keep it muted. Yeah.
It's good now.
You're good, brother.
Yeah.
All right. I have never seen this. Yeah, you sound good. I have never seen this. G.I. Joe. This is from JoeCon in 2017. Look at that, you guys. That's a Snake Eyes sculpt. That's Snake Eyes right there. It goes by JTAC, but it's just a version 1 Snake Eyes with different coloring. I have to find this figure. The Gary Google's Joint Terminal Attack Controller. I've never seen this. And now I have to have one. Like, this is a figure I have to find now. Bought a Joe Con from 2017, $202. How about another Joe figure I've never seen and another Snake Eyes variant? This is from Joe Fest in 2019. Unmasked Commando Snake Eyes figure. The version 2 Snake Eyes, but just with a shitty head sculpt. It comes with the wolf and all the accessories and the regular head. And it's carded from Joe Fest. I've never, ever seen this. There's very few Joe stuff that I've never seen. I mean, look how bad that looks. Oh, my God.
It's actually fire. That's actually fire. I was,
you like that?
That was actually fire. That's
so Joe Fest is actually in my neck of the woods. It's in Augusta, Georgia.
Yep.
Interesting.
So, yeah, this is cool. And here's one final G.I. Joe that I've never seen. This is kind of like a mix between G.I. Joe and
Slaughter.
You got it. This is the WWF LJN Sergeant Slaughter Hasbro G.I. Joe mail away from 1987. Sold for $368. It's loose. It's all fucked up. It's definitely used. I've never seen this. It says WWF LJN. I don't know what LJN stands for, you guys. Maybe I'm missing that. So if there's anybody in the chat that knows anything about this, or let me know in the description in the YouTube comments. That's pretty crazy. I've never seen it, and that's definitely G.I. Joe Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
So $368. You guys ever seen this? Holy Grail Transformer, 1980 Takara Datsun 280Z Racer Diaclone Smokescreen, mint in box, sold for $3,327. Look at, I've never seen this. Is this like the first Transformer ever or something? What is this?
Yeah, I think that's G1, I believe. Does it say Takara? What does it say?
Yeah, it's Takara. It's Japanese.
Yeah, does it say Transformers anywhere on it or no?
No.
I think this is G1. I think this came. Oh wait, go back to the front. What's the date on it? 1980. Yeah, this is early. This is early.
So number 11. So this is Transformer number 11 that Takara put out.
Yeah, because these Takara toys in Japan came out first, and then it got rebranded as Transformers, and then released in the United States and in Japan. So I've actually been looking at this stuff on some of the Japanese auction sites. I've been looking for like the original Optimus Prime and stuff like that. So
3,000, dude. That's fucking crazy, dude.
So be on the lookout by a Daewoo Lanos, motherfucker.
Sean, we're gonna end it off with you. 1986, Mattel, Masters of the Universe, Nightlight. Man at Arms, awesome. Nightlight, bro.
Wow.
Still works.
Of course it still worked. It was built 40 years ago.
Uh-huh. I remember these in Star Wars. I don't remember the Masters of the Universe one.
I don't remember a Man at Arms.
Yeah.
He-Man Skeletor all day, dude. I don't remember Man at Arms, man.
That fool looked like he jumped from Return of the Living Dead. Eyes all black. Face all discolored.
Yeah, you want to turn that nightlight on at life when you're a kid, wake up and look at that thing, like staring
Yeah.
into the wall? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
All right, you guys, 85 till the end. Appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for hanging out with us. Check out, I got the links for the Discords in the description below. I want to give a shout out real quick before they call at the end of the night. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined the new membership tiers. I want to shout out to Namesh Patel, Brad Selden, Philip Chung, Chad Cave, R. Floam, Jesse, James Comics, Brian's Comic Garage, Funhouse Comics for the super chat, Mrs. Horsecock Express, Awesome Sauce Radio, Solo Wookie, David Morley, Joggy, Steve Schuss, and Louis Olivo, all for joining the membership tiers. Thank you so much, you guys. More on these as we move forward. Make sure you guys keep your ear to the train tracks for when the OTR, what is that place called? Not Rumble.
We'll figure it
The
out.
OTR
Yeah, we'll
Rumble shows up. And make sure you guys sub up because we need 100 subscribers over there to start putting out a live product or live content. And I appreciate everybody for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Adios.